Edmonton Sports Talk. My God, I loved it.
My name's Jay Milne. #Blue.
Our sports update deliverer, the Koob.
I'm Zachary Kubusch, and you're up today.
You know what, Reid?
You might be on to something.
All right, here's what's going on in the Nasty Cup.
Well, Jay Milne demonstrating more energy than you may see in tonight's game between the San Jose Sharks and the Edmonton Oilers. It is the end of the regular season, finally for the Oilers. Well, and for the Sharks as well, though the Sharks are not going to the playoffs. The Oilers will wrap it up tonight with the good old 8:30 game, so we will have coverage starting at 7:30 with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show with Tom Gazzola. Tom will be on after the game as well to break it down, but probably more so to start looking ahead to the playoffs against the LA Kings. To answer everybody's question, no. Do not have a playoff schedule. I don't know when it's coming out. I think we can narrow down some of the days when the games will be. They'll probably start at 8, maybe 8:30, and away we'll go from there. Jay, how are you doing?
I'm great. I just got to say, that song gets me every time.
The intro song?
The
Yeah, it's a
heavies.
great song. It's a great song.
And they just re-recorded it.
For our show?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. They're excited. And we've got heavy merch that's going to show up at some point.
I'm finding out about all of this for the first time.
Yeah.
It's a good thing I host a show. Otherwise, no one would tell me anything.
Well, people think we sit around and talk all day, but we really never talk until 3 o'clock.
Well, not entirely incorrect. True.
Yeah. That depends on the day, I
Depends
guess.
on the day, brah.
Bruh.
All right. The Koob is here as well. Koob, how are you?
I'm doing well, Reid. Thanks for asking.
Nice to see you. All right. Well, we're going to have a fun show this afternoon. We have some great guests lined up. First of all, our own Shawn Belle will be on a little bit later on, making his second appearance on the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne from Sportsnet, Hockey Night in Canada, 32 Thoughts podcast. Great guy, very down-to-earth young man. Kyle Bukauskas will check in. I want to ask him about this, Jay. And look, if you're covering hockey, covering the NHL, you're very lucky. So I'm not, I'm not trying to do this like a woe is him type thing or woe are the people. But when you get into covering the playoffs and you're at the national level, you're leaving home for a while. Like I think Kelly Rudy, who used to be on my old show, said when there was one playoffs, he was away from home for 70 days. It was like 70 days in a hotel. Like that's a long stretch. Like that can't be easy, even though you're doing something you love and talking about the sport you love. So I think I want to ask Kyle a little bit about that. Like he's gearing up to go places and he doesn't know round around where he's going, right?
He doesn't know right now where he's going, probably.
So we're going to be guaranteed one Canadian team in the second round, right? Because if Toronto plays Ottawa.
This is true.
So I guess he would at least know he'll probably do the winner of that series in the second round. But anyway, Kyle's a great guy. We'll talk about some stuff with him. Our own Shawn Belle will check in. And Drew Remenda will be making his triumphant return to the Reid Wilkins Show. Covers the Sharks, but he has a vested interest in the Oilers as well. So those guys are all along the way.
What a show.
It's going to be a great show.
Wow.
And we're going to talk about the Oilers lineup tonight, or lack thereof, and how drastically different it could be from Game 1 against the Kings in Los Angeles. You did some great stuff, Jay, looking into last year's first round. You brought up something. I don't want to say what it is now, but I'll tease it. You brought up something that I had totally forgotten about last year's first round. I had completely forgotten about this. And it's actually fairly significant given how some other things then happened in last year's postseason.
I'll say.
And then this year, quite frankly.
Sure.
So we'll dive into that. It's going to be a lot of good stuff today.
That was a good tease. Reid.
I have to say, I am very eager for the playoffs to begin. I feel perhaps that more than any other time during the span of my career, which a large part of my job has been covering the Edmonton Oilers.
Wow, that's interesting. Do you think it's because of the new role here at EST? I mean, I'm saying that I guess in the way that you used to be all over that. You were at the rink every night. You still are, but in a different, I guess, under different circumstances, either there or at the studio every game. So maybe this was a season of what do we call it? Asset management from EST, so that Reid's ready to go.
I don't know about that
for the playoffs. Maybe you have a little bit more P&V.
I don't think it's. I understand what you're saying. I don't think it's related to my exact job, because I think it's just more related to how far they went last year.
Sure.
The limping to the finish line this year. And then just the last month or so with players hurt or possibly not that hurt, but not in the lineup. And when is it going to be the full team? Because at least on assuming Sunday, it would have to be Sunday or Monday for game 1 against LA, we'll finally see the best Oilers lineup they can ice.
That's an interesting
for health
point, because you're going to see, by all accounts, a player that has not played once this year. And you might see, maybe not in game 1, but in the series, a player who has played 7 minutes for the Oilers.
Right.
And you're going to see players in the press box that have normally been on the ice getting 12 to 15 minutes a game.
Yep.
So, there's a lot of anticipation of the unknown.
Right.
Of what this team really is going to be in the playoffs.
Yep.
Is it the version Connor McDavid spoke about yesterday in his clips? Or is it a team that's, not used to playing with each other?
Yeah.
You don't know. Maybe there's a little bit, I wouldn't say nervous anticipation, but the anticipation of the unknown.
D-Rock in the Nasty Chat, which is our chat feature on YouTube. And if you are using YouTube today, that platform, please give us the thumbs up. Click that little thumbs up button so we feel good about ourselves.
Click, click, click. Must you click? Please, please click. Must you click? You must click. Thumb, thumb, thumb.
All right.
I wonder how many people in their car listening to that are doing what I do, where I try and mimic it.
I would be stunned if they were any, quite frankly. I think anybody mimicking anything that I've ever done publicly needs to rethink their entire life.
I think you need to rethink what you just said, bro. Big Uke. I sing it every time.
Well, that's
probably more than
amazing.
You would imagine.
Well, perhaps. I never have thought about being the
maybe we should turn that into
a jingle,
a full length track where we've got verses and a chorus and a bridge.
I think it works better in its current incarnation, Jay. Okay. Thank you for the encouragement.
All right, I'm feeling goofy today.
Koob's done the remix. No, that's fine. Koob's done the remix. I think we're good. I think we got the click thing and we got the remix. I think we're good. It doesn't need to be longer.
Can we do an a cappella version of it?
Yes.
Oh my God, you guys.
A choir version?
No, the original thing is a cappella.
But
a cappella means without music,
I think he means more like orchestra, choir, like the
your barbershop quartet or idea.
Quartet.
Anyway, there is a message in the Nasty Chat from D-Rock who says, what do you think will happen in the Oilers series, Reid and Jay? Okay, D-Rock, first of all, we will do predictions tomorrow. Here's one thing that will be a fairly substantial part of tomorrow's show. We will look back at our preseason predictions. We've already done that off air, but we won't reveal anything. So we will tell you how many of the 16 playoff teams we successfully predicted. And we will look at our Stanley Cup final prediction. We have everybody knows I picked Nashville and they're out of it. We'll look at who we picked to win in the East and the West at the start of the year. So we'll look back on those and wasn't I foolish when I was only 50 and a half?
How age has changed.
How age has made me such a more wizened individual. So we will look at that. And then D-Rock, Jay, and I will do our first round predictions. And we will say who beats who in the Stanley Cup final. Okay, that's how we're going to do it. Koob asked me earlier, he's like, you guys going to do the whole bracket challenge? No, Koob, because 16 teams isn't a bracket, okay? Like if it's smaller than the NCAA tournament, it's, we're not going to bother going through the whole thing, but we'll do the first round. So we'll pick a winning team and number of games,
Of course.
and talk about each series. And also tomorrow, we will invite. I think I probably for listener feedback, just to tighten it up a little bit, we'll say your Oilers series prediction and then who beats who in the final. So don't start spamming it in now because we're not going to read them out on the air today. So save that for tomorrow. Do some thinking. We want your Oilers series prediction, number of games, maybe a key or two to the series or something funny, and then who beats who in the Stanley Cup final. That's how we're going to handle that, D-Rock. So we're not going to, I mean, of course it'll come up in the conversation of the show today. We're going to talk about this series. But in terms of actually making predictions, that'll be the focus of tomorrow's show, right? Because it'll be our last show before the postseason starts because we don't have a show on Friday because of Good Friday.
That's right. Huge.
Now, there's a chance, I guess there's still a chance the Oilers don't play until Monday, but we'll do all the predictions before the weekend when all the other series start. Does that make sense?
That does.
You know what we have to do today?
What's that?
It's an Oilers game day, final one of the regular season. Though this feature is continuing into the playoffs, right? The Hudson's Canada's Pub Mystery Athlete of the game? Okay, that's cool. Hopefully there are many more mystery athletes to come then.
Well, and Hudson's is now been officially announced as the destination for Game 2 and Game 5 for the playoffs. So Game 2 is going to be at West Edmonton Mall. Tommy, I'm talking about the GCL Diesel pre- and post-game show.
Good.
Tommy's going to be at West Edmonton Mall for Game 2. He's going to be at White Ave for Game 5. And, of course, BP's Westgate to get it all started on Sunday or Monday. Or who knows? Tommy will be there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun. Those are fun.
So our Hudson's Canada's Pub Mystery Athlete of the game, you're trying to win a $25 GC to Hudson's. You're invited down tonight for the Oilers game. You can also join them Fridays and Saturdays after 9 p.m. for the late night happy hour specials. This is food starting at $4, drinks from $3.75. Book your reservation now at hudsonscanadaspub.com. So here's how this works. You must, we only accept messages on the text line. So don't email us. Don't post in the nasty chat because you might be helping somebody else win. You must text your guesses, maximum 3 guesses per person. And if you're doing this for the first time, don't think, they'll never count. It's very easy for Jay to count, okay? He clicks your phone number. It shows your entire text history to Edmonton Sports Talk since the station started. So we can certainly tell if there are 3 guesses in a 3-hour span.
I can count, man.
Afternoon Inbox presented by River Cree Resort and Casino, home of the kitchen restaurant. All you can eat prime rib buffet for just $49.99 every Sunday from 4 to 10 p.m. 780-218-9999. So the first clue is All-Star. The first clue, Hudson's Canada's Pub Mystery Athlete of the game, is All-Star.
Collingwood Rob in the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. Nasties, when meeting in public, should give a thumbs up sign to each other, then say, thumb, thumb, thumb. It's kind of like a friendly gang sign. I don't mind that. Just like an over-the-top, exuberant...
Is All-Star.
Collingwood...
I just unclicked my computer. Sorry, I just unmuted myself. Yes. Well, that's fine. I will not stop them from doing that. That would be flattering.
Thump, thump, thump.
Thump, thump. Okay. Yeah, that's a fair idea. All right, so the first clue is All-Star. Maybe you want to guess right now. Maybe you want to use up all your 3 guesses on that. Maybe you want to wait and hear other... It's up to you how you approach it. And if you've won in the last couple of weeks, you can't win today. We've set up a 2-week rule, a 2-week waiting period, a 2-week moratorium on victory. But I think the people who were winning often, they'd all be outside that 2-week window now. I think.
It's free game.
We did have some new winners, which is
we
good.
did.
Like, I guess what we're trying to do is we're trying to reward everybody. We love our regular listeners who tune in all day, every day. We love when you win stuff, but we also want new people to feel like, there's a door open for me to win. You know, it's not just going to be the people who listen all the time. So we're trying to find a happy medium there. And I think it's worked because we have regulars participating and we've had some brand people that have never won anything before from the station, right? So that's our strategy, hopefully, with that. You can email Reid at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. You can email Jay at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. I already have a limerick here from Bronco Nick. Let's do it right away. Bronco Nick has joined. He's joined the Big Uke as a daily limerick producer.
Wow.
Darnell received a 1-game suspension for his ill will and devilish intention. Health is key for team, not me. Connor ready for divine intervention? That's very good. Bronco Nick is improving before our eyes. He's like a guy who at the start of the season was usually a healthy scratch. Then he might play 8 to 10 minutes a game. And now he's like full on. We need this guy in the lineup.
Do you think, Reid, that we should actively start saving some of the top limericks?
Well, that'd be
having a category.
That'd be a great idea, but I haven't done it.
I'm not saying you have to. I'm just saying if we said, okay, we start at the start of the playoffs. So we start next Monday.
Oh, okay.
And limericks from then on can be put into a category.
Okay.
And we go ahead and we just, I mean, Maddie would have to sign off on it, which is going to be tough.
Because we'd need a prize, right?
Well, you'd get an Esty. It would be an Esty. It would be an Esty category. Limerick of the year.
Limerick of the year or Limerick of the playoffs?
No, Limerick of the year.
But we don't have all of them.
It doesn't matter because it hasn't started yet.
Oh, okay.
But if we say we're going to start it, I think you might get some great submissions.
Well, yeah, we could do something like that. Maybe
think
get
we
more
should
people
look into
involved.
it.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Okay. 780-218-9999 is the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. We have some comments coming up from Chris Knobloch. We'll look at the Oilers lineup, such as it is for tonight's game. But we're also going to get into how drastically different it could be for the first game against the Los Angeles Kings. And it actually might make some of you feel a little bit more optimistic. It's been interesting in our chat that we get on this show, whether it's nasty chat, text, emails, and seeing stuff coming into other shows. My read is, Jay, that there's a very large gap in how Oilers fans feel about this series. Like I felt last year, and again, it's not like we talk to every single Oilers fan, so we can only get a read off the interaction that we get. But I felt last year most people felt pretty good, that they were better than the Kings, they were going to beat them, and they went out and they won 1-5. It's the shortest series they've played in the trilogy they've had so far. I feel this year there's a larger gap between the people who think the Oilers are going to lose the series and the people who are going to win. Because even last year, of course, well, I think the Oilers are going to win, but the Kings have a chance. I feel this year there's a significant amount of the Oilers are screwed, flawed team. Kings are peaking. Kings got a better lineup. They got better defense. They got hungry forwards. The Oilers are profound underdogs in this series. I feel we get some of that. And then we're getting a significant amount on the other end of the spectrum, too. There's nothing to worry about. The Oilers are going to be fine. They will prove they are still the better team once this series actually gets rolling. I find that quite interesting. That's my read anyway. Maybe you're sensing something else.
No, definitely sensing cautiously optimistic. Because there's so many unknowns. Literally, not figuratively, what team will show up? What team will be there literally? And then figuratively, what team's going to show up? Because this year they've shown they can be the top of the class or playing down to other teams' levels. And then you factor in that this is the fourth year in a row that this series has happened. And the odds got to start creeping in somewhere, although I don't think it's at all relevant in a 7-game series. But it's just those things compiling, which I think is fair.
I would say one of the lower down items on my list would be, it's hard to beat a team 4 years in a row.
That's the lowest on mine.
Is it?
Yes. Because
isn't it actually hard to beat a team 4 years in a row? No, it isn't.
No, not in a 7-game series.
If you're better than them, how hard is it?
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying, but I mean, Dallas beat Edmonton. After the Oilers upset them, Dallas won the rest of the series because they were flat out better. So, here's what I would say to you, and everybody's entitled to their opinion. But if I came to you and said, who do you think is going to win the series? And you said Kings. And I said, okay, give me reason number, just I'm curious. Tell me why. And your reply was because you can't beat a team 4 years in a row in the playoffs. I would say that's the worst possible reason. I'm not saying your prediction is going to be wrong, but there's no evidence to suggest you can't beat a team that often. If you want to say to me, Kings have this player, and this player, and they're better than these players, okay. Yeah, that's. But if you're just like, you can't beat a team 4 years in a row. Why? Like,
there's no math that would support that.
Yeah, there's nothing that would suggest that that's just impossible in the history of sports. All right, time for the off-topic topic for William Huff. Since 1952, William Huff has provided industry-leading advertising solutions for thousands of valued clients. Their unparalleled customer service combined with decades of industry expertise and a desire to make every job the very best it can be is what they call the William Huff Advantage. Visit their website at williamhuff.com or give them a shout, 780-454-4536.
Well, we were sitting in the bullpen, and I looked over Reid's shoulder. There's a window there, and by golly, it's snowing. I was, great. I mean, it was cold today. It was icky. I mean, this is spring. What do you expect? So I thought, we did this in the winter. I believe it was with cold, or was it with snow?
Yeah, something like that.
But things Edmontonians say when spring is around the corner, right? One that came to my mind is, wait, you took your snow tires off already? Everybody always gets blamed when it snows after somebody admits that they took their winter tires off, or, you just wait. You can't, you're not in the clear till May Long's come and gone. Right? So what are things that you say as hopeless romantics for spring or summer in Edmonton, waiting for it to come? Anything come to your mind, Reid?
Well, the one I brought up earlier in the bullpen, and I think somebody else might have kind of said it first, and then I just riffed on it, but it's basically along the lines of like, to heck with it, I'm wearing shorts. Like on a day so you just, because we had a day that was like, we've had a couple days plus 18, even teasing plus 20 already.
Well, it was plus 26 in the studio last week.
Well, true.
We've
had some days where it was pretty much shorts weather, and people decide, okay, once I put shorts on, that's what I wear until Labor Day or until it snows. So today, I don't view as shorts weather, but somebody probably got up and said, to heck with it, I'm still wearing shorts.
Yep. Shorts guy. Big Uke, we need a good rain. Cleans things up.
That actually is true.
That's the best, though. Those are the things. That is hitting the nail on the head in terms of what we're looking for here. Is statements or sayings that you say when spring is around the corner or summer.
Yeah, that's good. Edmontonian specifically. That's a good one, Jay. 780-218-9999, the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. Post in the nasty chat on YouTube and keep giving us the thumbs up if you're on YouTube as well. We also thank you if you're listening on one of our audio streams, iHeartRadio. That's what I use the most when I'm at home. I'm more likely to put it on the audio stream than on YouTube because I'm often moving around the house and not sitting and watching. TuneIn Radio app as well. I was talking to a gentleman. I had to go to Kingsway Mall last night, as I mentioned, and I got talking to a gentleman in one of the stores, and he was like, "Hey, are you on a show or something?" I was like, "Yeah," and I've shown him the iHeartRadio app, and he was like, "Oh, this is cool." So,
bit by bit,
educate, build our flock,
brick by brick.
Brick sheep by brick sheep. Wouldn't that be Minecraft? Aren't they all made out of bricks?
Oh, don't even talk about Minecraft.
Oh, Koob is like disgustingly shaking his head. He's like, there's the old guy. Doesn't understand Minecraft again. Koob's probably thinking to himself, would you like to play Pac-Man, Reid? All right. Speaking of the Koob, here he is. We got some comments from Knobloch and the Oil Understood coming up.
The Oilers will ice 12 forwards and 5 defensemen in San Jose as Connor McDavid sits just 1 point away from reaching 100 points this season. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. Tom Gazzola gets you set for the game against the Sharks right here at 7:30, only on EST. And Montreal fights to book their ticket to the playoffs, needing just 1 point against the Hurricanes to take the final wildcard spot in the East to battle the Caps in round 1. And for the Stars, Tyler Seguin returns to the lineup against the Predators, while Vancouver hosts Vegas and the Ducks face the Jets on a 6-game NHL slate. And there's 3 games in the WHL, including Gavin McKenna and his Tigers looking to take a 3-0 series lead over the Raiders. Baseball saw the Blue Jays win 3-1 against the Braves. Right now, the Padres hold the Cubs 2-1 in the 5th inning. On the court, there's 2 play-in matchups. Bulls and Heat tip off while Dallas hits the road in Sacramento. This sports update is brought to you by Find Edmonton, and Find takes your unused furniture and home goods to help those moving out of homelessness. Get donations picked up or drop them off free of charge. Visit findedmonton.com or call them at 780-988-1717. The Reid Wilkins Show returns after a brief intermission. I'm Zachary Kubusch, keeping you in the loop.
2 guys and a goalie.
Putting aside last night's performance, the goals that were being scored on Pickard were good goals generated by the other team. I still have Pickard starting game 1, but like I said this morning, Dusty, I do think you see both Edmonton Oilers goalies, regardless of who starts game 1, in the series against the LA Kings.
2 guys and a goalie, presented by GS Construction. Tuesday and Thursday afternoons at noon, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Spin to win Fridays at the Banquet. Every Friday, spin the wheel for a chance to win big and save on your bill. It's that easy. Spin, win, and save. Don't miss out. Details at thebanquetbar.com. The Banquet. Get real. Play hard.
GCL Diesel has been serving oil country since 1972. From diesel cars to SUVs to pickups. From farm tractors to school buses to a big rig. From diesel generators to forklifts, GCL can test, troubleshoot, and repair all diesel fuel system components. Whether it's injectors, pumps, turbos, filters, or additive, GCL has the parts you need to keep your diesel running the way it should. For genuine diesel parts at wholesale prices, visit GCL Diesel in the West End or online at gcldiesel.com. GCL Diesel. Diesel understood.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Downsizing, upsizing, or staging your home to sell? Sentinel Storage is Edmonton's team for affordable storage solutions. Try 4 weeks free. Details at sentinelstorage.ca.
Sentinel Storage, proud partner of the Edmonton Oilers.
Okay, we're going. Yeah, we're good, Koob. Koob's giving me the thumbs up. Give us the thumbs up on YouTube as well. Thanks for checking out the show. Hey, we're all over the Oilers playoff coverage. We'll keep doing the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pre- and post-game shows. You know, we're talking about Tom being on location. I'll be joining him. Cass, Belzy, all our regular great guys. And, of course, coverage every day. Hopefully it's another long playoff run. Hopefully. The off-topic topic for William Huff.
Things Edmontonians say when spring is around the corner. If you don't like the weather, just wait 10 minutes.
That's an all-seasoner.
Big Uke's coming in hot here. He's doing some work here. These mornings are still a bit chilly, aren't they? Or heated seat to work, AC on the way home. And then Nacho Man, this is a great one. How about that poplar fuzz?
That's a good one.
That's the worst stuff. When it's floating around, like when it's dense,
gross. Yeah,
and you breathe it in. Ugh.
Yeah,
or you sniff. Ugh.
Have you ever had your golf ball stop in a bunch of them?
No.
Yeah, that's gross.
I don't.
Or maybe I hit it into a pile of dead caterpillars. I don't know.
It could have.
Could have been. I was so far off the course.
Could have been.
There was one year, like we lived just outside of Evansburg, about 3 miles to the north. So we had, our yard, but we were on a quarter section that was never cleared for farming because it was mostly peat moss, but we had our house on the part of it. But one year, the caterpillars were so bad. If you walked along the edge of the trees, it sounded like it was raining because so many of them were falling off trees.
Oh.
It was crazy.
I think I remember that at our house at one year. They were up the side of our house.
Yeah.
Like everywhere.
And my dad, they would die.
They were like black ones.
And my dad was shoveling them into a wheelbarrow.
Yeah. It was like an infestation.
Yeah.
Terrible.
I did keep a couple as pets, though.
Did you? You still have them?
Yeah, Creepy and Crawley. That's not what I named them. It's actually Jane and Ben.
That would make way more sense.
Given your pet caterpillars human names, nothing like it. Okay, what are we talking about? The Oilers play tonight. Here's how we expect them to line up. McDavid between Jeff Skinner and Connor Brown. Nugent Hopkins between Podkolzin and Arvidsson. Henrique with Perry and Kapanen. Janmark with Jones and Hudson. So Hyman, Kane, Draisaitl not playing. Frederick not playing. On the back end, no Wallman. So no Nurse because of the suspension, which we'll touch on that quickly here. I know it's been a topic most of the day, but we'll just give our quick thoughts on it. So Dineen with Bouchard, Kulak. Well, the pairings don't matter. Dineen, Bouchard, Kulak, Brown, and Emberson are the defensemen. Carrick was called up, can't play. Skinner in net, Pickard, the backup. So no Nurse, no Klingberg, obviously no Wallman. So that's that short-headed Oilers team. I want to ask Belsey about this when he's on. Like, how much of a let's just get it over with attitude is there going to be tonight?
Yeah.
Like, do the Sharks play with any more intensity because they're finishing it up? I don't know, maybe. I think the Oilers would love it if it was straight time tonight. Let's just go.
Well, I did ask a question on Twitter last game if fans that were in attendance at the Oilers game could vote to just cancel the third period. But no, we're good.
Just done. Yeah, we're just done.
We're good to go.
Yeah, it's late. The Oilers are 47, 29, and 5. Oh, that's another thing.
What was your
48, 28, and 6? So I will be wrong. I had 102 points. So if they win tonight, I'll be within a point.
That's pretty darn good.
You had them like at some insane win total, like 56 or 57.
I think it was 72 wins.
It's Chicago Bull territory. The Sharks are 20, 49, and 12. As we've seen, they got some talent. They've been playing pretty hard, and we'll get a little more on them with Drew Remenda a little bit later on. Quickly, though, just to get, because we talked about a lot on the show yesterday, any thoughts on the Nurse one-game suspension?
I guess, from an Oilers perspective, that's great because you're going to have Darnell Nurse in the lineup rested for game one of the series. I know we had talked about it yesterday, and I think both of us kind of settled on the thought that it would be 2 games, but it was also made very clear that we had no clue because it's not us making the call. I still think that is a major win for the Oilers because that could have been something where they wanted to make a statement and set a bit of a precedent leading into the playoffs. Maybe they looked at the Oilers roster and took pity. I don't know. But at one game, you're just saying, okay, thanks. How fast can I sign that player check over to the, what was it? The
Players Assistance Fund.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be 2 games. I thought 1 would have been more likely than 3. I didn't think they would go to 3 for this. Watching the video, I think they did identify this is cross-checking. But they basically said he didn't hit him as hard as he could have. That's what I took out of it. So it's just a game. I'm sure LA fans would be angry because it's like, oh, he misses a game that
is meaningless.
They could have held him out of anyway.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I don't know. Can the league go too far down that path? Oh, well, who are they playing? Like they're just supposed to either suspend or not suspend. So
they are, but don't kid yourself. They would have looked at that. Absolutely.
I think they would have looked at the playoffs coming up. I don't know if they could consider tonight's game. I think because it was clearly a suspendable incident.
This is kind of a win. You got it was a dirty play, but you got a shot in on one of the players that is an Oilers killer as of late. And you're getting rest on one of your defensemen that you're going to lean on in the playoffs. That's great.
The thing is about some of this discussion about allowing them to rest players or heal up banged up players or whatever, it doesn't help Kulak that much. I mean, it's like, oh, you go play more than ever, Kulak. Yeah, who cares if you're tired for the playoffs?
Yeah. Well,
even Bush, like those guys are going to have to play a ton. I don't know, maybe you just play Brown and Dineen the entire game. Go prove yourselves, boys. Anyway,
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Nurse out for a game, 12 forwards, 5D for the Oilers tonight. Here's a comment from head coach Chris Knobloch talking about some of the injured players.
We believe that all the guys that we have on our injury reserve will be joining us in playoffs, most of them for game one, and everyone but Matthias Ekholm.
So most of them for game one. So maybe Frederick's not back for game one. I think Kane's going to play game one.
Yeah.
I think Draisaitl and Hyman certainly will. I think Wallman will. I think maybe Frederick is the guy who's not back until game two.
Yep. And that would be what, Kane was kind of the wild card until earlier this week when he spoke and said, yeah, I'm good to go.
He sounds pretty good. Yeah.
Feels better than he did all of last year. So, yeah, I think Trent Frederick's going to be the guy, and we're going to go through the what you and I projected as a possible lineup, and having Frederick in there makes things a little bit dicey as to who comes out. But we'll get to that.
Knobloch commenting on the plight of the team recently.
Well, a lot of the players, just what they can bring, and a lot of guys have elevated their game with more responsibilities, more ice time, and we've counted on them, and they've played really well. So the fact that we survived this 2-3 weeks without a lot of our star players and a lot of our top guys, says a lot about this group, and we got to maintain them playing at that level so we can have success in the long run.
And Knobloch was also asked what he's learned as a coach in recent weeks.
Well, I've learned a little bit about the salary cap and in the injury reserve and when you can call somebody up, because I didn't know very much about that before. But I've learned a lot over these last couple of weeks with the call-ups and when you can, when you can't, and when you have to play shorthanded. So I'm that part of it. But, as a coach, we're always trying to get the most out of our players, and every year and every team is different, so you have to find different ways, and obviously learned a little bit about that.
Yeah, whether he wanted to or not, he probably wishes that he didn't, but so there you go.
I think everybody learned a lot about all of that.
Yeah.
Kind of, I don't know, Reid, was this an unprecedented year in terms of all the situations with injuries and cap room?
I think with injuries and with the fact that they were going to be a playoff team. There was one year they were out of the playoffs, and there was some threshold, like as soon as a guy played his 60th game, like a few guys got hurt or something. I think Hall was already on the team. But yeah, I think in terms of a playoff-bound team with the quantity of injuries and the quality of some of the players who have been hurt, I think it's been unique in terms of things that have happened to the Edmonton Oilers. All right, we're going to look at a little bit at when these players come back, what could the lineup be for game one against the Kings, and how better do you think it is than what they've been trying to roll out with later, with sort of this piecemeal patchwork lineup that they've had? Maybe it'll make you feel better about taking on the LA Kings. Maybe you'll say, you know what, Reid, that's still not good enough. We're going to dive into that with the Well Understood for GCL Diesel when we get back.
Calvin Pickard gets a start in Game 82 for the Oilers as they face the Sharks. Connor McDavid sits at 99 points on the season, and Edmonton will dress 12 forwards and 5 defensemen for the game in San Jose. For the Stars, Tyler Seguin returns to the lineup for the first time since December as Dallas meets Nashville. And with just 1 point tonight against the Canes, the Canadians can punch their ticket to the playoffs for the first time since going to the Stanley Cup Final in 2021. Other games see the Ducks and Jets duke it out. The Red Wings playing the Devils and the Golden Knights challenging the Canucks. WHL playoff action has 3 games, including Lethbridge leading Calgary 2-1 in their series, entering Game 3. In the NBA, Bulls and Heat go toe-to-toe while the Mavericks battle the Kings for the only 2 games in the play-in tournament. Earlier, Toronto beat Atlanta 3-1, and the Twins beat the Mets 4-3 in the 10th inning. Right now, Cubs trail the Padres 2-1 in the 6th. This sports update is brought to you by Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy. Get treated like a pro with their highly skilled crew. Whether you're recovering from an injury or looking to enhance your performance, get the same locker room approach that's trusted by the best in the game. Visit their website at advantagesportmed.ca. Once we get back, the boys have the oil understood for GCL Diesel. I'm Zachary Kubusch, keeping you up to date.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Gallo LLP is an Alberta-based accounting firm with expert chartered professional accountants in both our Edmonton and Sherwood Park accounting firms. Our experienced and innovative accountants provide financial advice that saves our clients money. Simply put, we help our clients protect their assets and grow their businesses. At Gallo LLP, they go beyond the numbers to ensure the continued success of your business. Reach out to Preet or John to discuss how they can help your business grow. Visit gallollp.ca today and see how they can help you take your business to the next level.
Do you have pets? Horses? Chickens? Did the place you used to get your feed recently close down? Have no fear. Clover Bar Feeds is here. Whether it's dogs, cats, horses, or chickens, Clover Bar Feeds has you covered. Offering a large variety of food and feed, you can trust the experts at Clover Bar Feeds. They've been family owned and operated for over 60 years. This means you can expect nothing less than top-notch service and selection. Come visit them at 200 Portage Close in Sherwood Park or visit them online at cloverbarfeeds.com.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc. We're the experts you need to know. All right, thanks a lot for joining us this afternoon. Oilers and Sharks tonight. Finally, the end of the regular season. We were just talking about how we've been waiting for that. Stuart Skinner is going to be your goaltender for the Edmonton Oilers. They will go with 12 forwards and 5 defensemen. McDavid will play. I guess another storyline, if you're interested in this, I'm not overly myself, is that he has 99 points, so he'll try to get 100. Cool. Mainly, don't get hurt. Get through the game. Let's get into the playoffs. Feeling good. The off-topic topic for William Huff, things Edmontonians say when spring, what did you say? When spring is around the corner? When spring is arriving?
When spring is around the corner. Matt Hyman says, could be worse. We could live in Winnipeg. That's from a person from Manitoba, so they can make fun of that. RC and Ladner says, well, now the winter's definitely done. I better book a tea time for this weekend.
Yeah, that's a good one.
We've all been burnt by that.
Oh, these are good. We're going to get some good submissions throughout the afternoon for sure. Okay, 780-218-9999 is the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox as Jay and I and the Koob are in the banquet studio. Craving a late night stack? Check out the Banquet's new late night happy hour menu, Sunday to Thursday, 9 p.m. until close. Enjoy favorites like sweet and spicy lettuce wraps or the Banquet burger at happy hour prices. The Banquet. Get real, play hard. Really a joy to have them on board. All right, let us dive into the Oil Understood. It's presented by GCL Diesel, the best diesel providers of the best diesel engine components around. From turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors, they are the critical engine component experts Proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years, and now a partner of Edmonton Sports Talk and the Reid Wilkins Show. GCL Diesel. Diesel. Understood. All right. So we went over the lineup for tonight. So let's look at the other side of this and how the Oilers might come out of this for game 1 against the Kings, Sunday, maybe Monday. And because who was it, you or Koob, that somebody said to me, who does McDavid play with in game 1, right?
Yeah.
And I said, well, I don't know. To start the game, maybe they leave him with Jeff Skinner and Connor Brown, right? That's been the combination that's kind of had a little bit of a burst lately. I mean, Connor Brown scoring some goals. I think Jeff Skinner's playing better. So I just said off the top of my head, okay, let's go McDavid, Jeff Skinner, and Brown on a line. Draisaitl with his semi-regular line mates throughout the season, Bud Colson and Arvidsson. Okay. And then I had, well, actually I didn't, I forgot Hyman at first, and Jay was like, I was like, oh yeah. Nugent Hopkins with Kane and Hyman, because I do think Kane will play game 1. And I do think they're going to want Nugent Hopkins starting the series at center.
I agree.
You're sensing that as well?
Well, it's one of these things. How could you take him off that position? You know, Nuge was probably the player that, you know, fans would look to the most and say, you know, underwhelming this year or underperforming, but he turned it on in the latter part of the season. And we've heard from Dahlblock say, that moving him to center gets him a lot more touches with the puck.
Yeah.
He's more engaged in the game. So, and it worked. Nuge was scoring. Nuge was providing offense. So I would be shocked if they decided to move him from that spot.
Now, as we know, the lines can change
100%.
5 minutes into the first game. And then I listed Henrique and Perry with Frederick, which means I had, if Frederick is held. Now, it's I don't know about Frederick in game 1.
I don't either.
So then you just put Janmark in. And then you go from there.
Yeah.
So now suddenly that lineup doesn't seem like a lineup that's just going to get steamrolled by the Los Angeles Kings. If all of a sudden, and I've been saying it all season long, and I will stick with it, we don't know how Kane is going to play. But assuming he's feeling well and can get back into the rhythm and play with any timing, having Evander Kane on a third line to start the playoffs is a nice luxury, especially if the other two guys on that third line are Nugent Hopkins and Hyman.
Well, you've got depth. I mean, look at that. Okay, let's go through it again. McDavid centering Connor Brown and Jeff Skinner.
Yeah, no, these are our guesses.
This is
right?
just our guesses.
You can have your own, whatever.
But it's an educated guess. No, we went through it together, and you know, I think this is probably what it's going to be looking like. Podkolzin is the kind of the one mystery on this, you know, this groupings of forwards. But Draisaitl in between Podkolzin and Arvidsson, RNH with Kane and Hyman, and Henrique with Frederick and Perry. That is depth. That fourth line, that's a decent fourth line.
Right.
So when we did that, yeah, I'd say that looks good. And I mean, even if Janmark slides in there, if Frederick's not ready, which it's sounding like,
right,
that's still not bad because Janmark does some damage on the PK.
So I just got an email that has absolutely irritated me.
Uh-oh. Can you say who it's from?
Did you get the same thing? NHL playoffs supercomputer simulation. How likely are the Oilers to win the Stanley Cup?
I did.
Apparently it is coming from, have you noticed what I've noticed? Like, I usually I would ignore this, but because you can't take it seriously. But I should mention, so here's the problem that they did in their simulations. They have Vegas and Ottawa playing in the first round, and they have Washington and Calgary playing in the first round. So they messed up the conferences and the seeding. So most of the matchups are correct.
Well, did you happen to see the email address? It was at pressboxpr.co.uk.
Yeah, it's some weird. Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah. So
anyway, they have the Jets beating the Leafs in the Stanley Cup final. They have the Oilers beating Ottawa in the second round, and then losing to the Jets in the conference final. So anyway, just I this caught my eye, and they're like, "Come on, you guys! Like, you have to have the proper matchups if you're going to run this simulation." Anyway, no Matt Hyman in the nasty chat. It is not from AI Wannock. Is that what people are calling Matt now?
That's awesome.
AI Wannock? That's pretty good. So anyway, if you look at, even if you move some of those people around, like swap Hyman and Brown or move Perry up or whatever, that's a much more formidable team than what's being put together lately, because you're pulling Kapanen and Jones out of the lineup, basically, right? Hudson, we know, was not going to play in the playoffs. They're just taking a look at him. Noah Phillips, no longer on the roster. Maybe he's around at some point in the playoffs. But all of a sudden, you look at that and you're like, oh, that's a team that maybe could get out there and grind and stand up to a deep LA Kings team.
Yeah, but you still have a third pairing on D. That is your weakness. The defense is now becoming, I guess, more of a glaring issue, if you want to call it, or worry,
right, for
Oilers fans. Assuming everybody that is available is.
Well, I didn't even mention Stetcher, so he should probably be back. Yeah.
Well, so I don't know. Personally, Reid, I would like them. I would like to see them split up Bouchard and Wallman. But then that also means you're going to have to split up Kulak and Nurse.
Well, I think. Right. I think the forwards are going to be fine.
Me too.
I think the question is defense.
100%.
Because Ekholm, that's the actual loss.
That's the piece.
That's what we know, who's not coming back. That's who we know hasn't just being handled carefully with the injury situation. We know he's got something. And quite frankly, I think it's going to extend beyond the first round if the Oilers advance. Just reading between the lines here.
Yeah.
So I think Wallman, Bouchard, Nurse, and Kulak in the playoffs will play a ton in varying combinations, and Stetcher and Emerson will be spelled in, and maybe so much they won't be on the ice a lot with each other. They'll be on with somebody else. So it'll be a ton of minutes for the top four. So that's the concern.
Now, but you look at the riches you have at the forward position. Can that make up for that? Right?
No.
You don't think so?
No. I think you got to be able to defend down low in your own end, and defensemen have to do a lot of that.
Yeah, I guess you're going to have to try and hide Emerson and Stetcher as often as possible. Right? Well, and Bouchard.
Well, they're not going to have that luxury. He's going to have to play.
Yeah, and who
he's
knows?
Not going to have Ekholm as his security blanket, so we'll see how well one of the other three guys can do that. Well,
and this is the thing, Reid. Now we're entering the playoffs. You get different players in the playoffs. Some ultimately rise to the occasion, some do not. Somebody on these D pairings is going to rise and surprise us. Somebody will. Somebody's also probably going to underperform that maybe you did not expect. That's just usually the way it goes. But encouraging to see those projected forward lineups.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've said I wouldn't take Janmark out of the lineup, but he might wind up being the odd man out, especially if Jeff Skinner keeps playing well. That's still a guy who could come out. I hate to say that to everybody. But, I mean, Jeff Skinner is going to play his first playoff game, very likely in game one, I think. Now we'll see how we can handle it.
Think they move things around and put Jay Skin in the press box and Janmark in?
Well, it depends if I think
it really depends on Frederick.
And then you see who doesn't play in game one, which leads us into something you brought up. And I didn't remember this, though, once you brought it up, about speaking of players who now you consider regulars who were not in last year's series.
Well, I went back and I looked at round one of last year's playoffs. I wanted to see who was there that's no longer here and who they were replaced with. So last year for forwards, you had Holloway, Fogle, Sam Carrick, who only played 3 games in that series, Ryan McLeod, and D. Ryan.
Right.
Okay. So that's 5 players that are no longer here. Well, who is here and who is playing, who is playing is Jeff Skinner, Arvidsson, Podkolzin, Connor Brown, and Trent Frederick.
Right.
Connor Brown did not see a minute of ice time in the first series against LA last year. I did not know that. But when I was looking through the game logs, I actively searched for his name and could not find it. He did not play until the second series against Vancouver.
He played game 1, did not play game 2, and then played game 3 and didn't come out of the lineup.
Played the rest of this.
And really was quite amazing with his penalty killing. I mean, he wasn't the top 6 player that it was hoped he would be, but him, Henrique, and Janmark became a very, very good third line. Outstanding penalty killers. I mean, involved in the 2 or 3 shorthanded goals along the way as well. But yes, I was like, what are you talking about, Connor Brown? And then I started, that was a story last year. Connor Brown did not play in the 5-game series against the Los Angeles Kings.
You calling it the X Factor now?
And now he might start game 1 on McDavid's line, which is where he was supposed to be when he was signed at the start of the previous season.
How the turns have tabled.
Yeah.
I just, when you're looking at it, because everything, Holloway, that was a huge story this year.
Yep.
Right? Fogel's playing pretty darn good down in LA. Ryan McLeod, you lost that speed. Right? Now you've got Brown, Arvidsson, Skinner, and Podkolzin replacing those players, and Frederick. You have to include Frederick, although he might not be on the ice in game 1.
Right.
But it's not like you're looking at this from last year's team to this year's team. Oh, where you are, though, I'll tell you, you're missing Ekholm, you're missing Ceci, you're missing Desharnais, and you have Wallman, Emberson, and Stetcher. That's a negative overall.
Yeah.
You're at a loss there.
Yeah, I think the decor is... I think you can make some pretty good comparables with the forwards, even though Arvidsson and Skinner have had their struggles this season. Well, last year, Connor Brown didn't score for 60 games. And then, as you made a point, was a healthy scratch. And Sam Carrick was not very good as an Oiler.
No.
So, that's a fair point. It might be a wash for the forwards.
I think the forwards are a wash.
Right.
And the defense, due to injury, unfortunately, is like we just said, that's the area of concern. Because heading into this series.
Right, because Emberson is still a young player.
Sure.
He's had some very good games this season. He's had some tougher nights. Stetcher is, well, as I always say about Stetcher, he gives you what he has. In a playoff series against the LA Kings, against some of the forwards they have who are big and fast, how is he going to do? Now, but Desharnais had some of those same challenges, to be fair.
Sure.
Stetcher's obviously better with the puck than Desharnais. Desharnais was a better penalty killer and just at being big and getting in the way. So,
look, the
kind of different skill sets.
The big loss here is obviously Ekholm. That's one. But Ceci, you would take over Emberson or Stetcher.
Right now, for sure. I think they made that trade for the future and thinking that Emberson would develop this year. But, so they don't have Ekholm. They took a chance on Klingberg. Clearly didn't work out. Though I guess you could still see him at some point.
Good.
And then, now, how's Wallman going to play, though?
Another X factor.
I mean, I don't mind the Oilers' top 4, and I know people are going to always like to pick on Bouchard, but Wallman, Nurse, Kulak, Bouchard should be a pretty good top 4.
Yeah.
But it would be better if you had Ekholm and Kulak or Wallman as your 4-5 or whatever, your rotating guys, and then you have one guy, Stetcher, Emberson, you're sort of protecting as opposed to 2.
Well, and even for the simple fact that, this is the playoffs. Injuries happen, right? Players get nicked up. Players miss games. You're really thin on depth at defense.
Yes.
Really thin.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Right? Whereas the forwards, I mean, you may have a Janmark that's sitting up in the press box. Kapanen, right? That can at least come in and be serviceable.
Well, that's a good point. I mean, I think Kapanen has his drawbacks, even Jones, but if you had to put them in for a playoff game or 2, I think they're better than Carrick.
Yeah,
I think Carrick didn't deliver much as an Oiler last year.
If we keep talking, I think we're going to suggest that this year's forwards are better than last year's.
Well, I think there's...
As a whole.
Yeah.
Depth-wise.
Maybe. I think it's comparable.
And Frederick, to be honest, is still a wild card.
Yes.
Right?
Abutsky of 5. Why no conditioning stint for Evander Kane in Bakersfield? Well, why? I don't know. I haven't heard Bowman talk about that. I think Kane said it was never considered. I mean, if he's been practicing for a few weeks, does he need one? I don't know. Honestly, Abutsky, I'm not too hung up about that. Most injured players don't undergo conditioning stints.
Well, I think that
McDavid, as a rookie, McDavid missed 3 months with a broken collarbone.
I think the recency...
We'll ask Belsey about that, how those are handled. He's coming up in a couple minutes.
The recency, I guess, of Landeskog going for a conditioning stunt.
Right.
But he hasn't played in several seasons.
Yeah, it's a fair question to Bukauskas, but I guess it's not something I'm getting hung up on.
Reid, one thing, and this has come in now twice in a row here on the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox, 780-218-9999. KR and Tabs both saying essentially the same thing. You can't forget how Nurse is playing this year versus last year. When comparing the defensive unit from game one last year to this year, that's a great point.
Well, quite frankly, even Kulak is playing better than last year. And though Nurse's game was down last year, Kulak was very good in the playoffs, but I'd say he's going into the playoffs even better than what many considered a peak for him last year. Hey, this is fun. I'm just eager to answer the questions on the ice.
Couple guys spitballing
The second clue in the Hudson's Canada's Pub Mystery Athlete of the Game is Chiefs. The first clue was All-Star. You must text your guesses, maximum 3 per person, to the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox, 780-218-9999. We'll get some perspective on what we've been talking about and maybe some comments on European cuisine as well from Shawn Belle when we get back.
The Lock Shop. Rory's winning. Scotty makes a charge on Sunday, but he's too far back. I want to see in one of these majors, both these guys at the final pairing going toe-to-toe. I think this week I am going to use my 30% profit boost on Scotty Scheffler because this is an FU moment. I think he's going to be motivated to defend his title and also just prove, hey, great moment for Rory, but I'm still the world #1 for a reason.
The Lock Shop, weekday mornings at 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
The River Cree Resort and Casino presents Bump and Grind Rewind, May 16th, featuring Drew Hill. With Cisco and Genuine, plus DJ Hartman B. Bump and Grind Rewind. Friday, May 16th at the River Cree Resort and Casino. Get your tickets now at rivercreeresort.com.
You've heard the name, but what does it mean? For over 66 years, William Huff Advertising has supplied signage from screen printing to digital to LED with design, production, and install in-house. It's a one-stop shop for all your signage needs. Edmonton owned and operated, William Huff has been trusted by the biggest companies and teams in the City of Champions and many others across the country to do the job. If you're looking for a way to get the word out about your company or event, they are the answer. Go to www.williamhuff.com. Their results speak for themselves.
Play more tables and games.
Play more tables and games. Make the most of your bad game. Oh, you want to, you need to, you know just what you gotta do. It's time to add some fun to your life. Make the most of your bad game. Play more tables and games.
PlayMoreGames.ca.
Connor McDavid enters game 82 of the regular season, just 1 point back of recording his 8th career 100-point season. Stuart Skinner gets a call against the Sharks as the Oilers roll with 12 forwards and 5 defensemen in San Jose. And Tom Gazzola gets you set for the action as he goes live for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show at 7:30 right here on EST. And the Canadians will clinch a playoff berth if they get at least 1 point against the Hurricanes to book a Montreal-Washington matchup for the second time ever. Elsewhere, the Stars welcome back Tyler Seguin to face the Preds. Winnipeg hosts Anaheim. The Devils battle the Red Wings, while the Golden Knights meet the Canucks. And trailing 2-1 in their series with the Silvertips, Portland and Everett go at it with 3 games around the WHL. In baseball, Toronto got past Atlanta 3-1. Houston fell 4-1 to St. Louis. Right now, it's the Cubs and Padres in the 7th. San Diego is up 2-1. And the NBA play-in tournament continues. Miami takes on Chicago as the Mavs tip off with the Kings. I'm Zachary Kubusch. That was your sports update. The second hour of the Reid Wilkins Show starts right now.
All right, hope you're having a great afternoon. It's 4:05. In 4.5 hours, the Oilers play their final regular season game against the San Jose Sharks at 7:30. Tom Gazzola has the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. He'll be on after the game as well to break it down and look ahead to the first round series against the Kings. No playoff schedule yet, everybody.
But we
don't know the teams.
But you know it. Like
Sunday or Monday.
You're
in
just
LA.
not allowed to say to the public.
Don't tell people that. They're going to believe you that I'm withholding some information. Jeez. We're still waiting to see if the Habs get in. I hope they get in.
Yeah, of course. Who wouldn't want to see
And the
another-
Flames, the Flames could finish 3 points behind the Oilers. If the Oilers lose in regulation tonight and Calgary wins tomorrow, I know there's a couple big ifs, they'd only have finished the season 3 points behind Edmonton.
Isn't that some sort of a record for?
I think they would. I think
total?
96 is the
they would tie a
best
record?
non-playoff records. They could tie it if they get it. Yeah,
that's too bad, eh?
Exciting last night again. Like they,
yeah.
Anyway, Shawn Belle, our colleague here at Edmonton Sports Talk, checking in. Bellsy, good to see you.
Great seeing you guys. I need to say that that intro music you guys had was kind of sexy.
Yeah,
a little sexy lounge music. I was like, I'm starting to vibe a little bit here.
Well, that's what this show is all about. We have the animal appeal.
Oh, man, just sex appeal. Nice work, boys.
Yes.
Yeah, I was feeling it for sure.
Yeah. Well, speaking of being hungry and thirsty, I want to ask, because I love getting stories from you and Gager and Cass and all the great people that we have here. But when you play pro hockey, you get the unique experience of traveling. And then sometimes, as you and Gager have done, like living in other countries, like not in the States. So you were in Germany, primarily when you were in Europe. Like, I'm wondering, did you eat the same over there? Or were there times where you're like, oh, I did not expect to be served this? Like, do you have anything like that ever happen to you?
Yeah, for the most part, there were some really good restaurants. One of the restaurants that we hung out around was called Giovanni's. It was a little Italian restaurant, great pasta, salad, everything. So, for the most part, I ate fairly normal. Now, there was a couple times, one, we had a Cabina Fest, and a Cabina Fest it's a locker room party. So, teams do 8-game segments here in the NHL, and they do it in the WHL, and they try to reward guys for making sure that you hit some of your targets in these segments. And so we actually hit a few of ours, and so we decided to have a Cabina Fest. And so they bring in some beers and they bring in food, and you basically go into the locker room and you have a great time. But they brought in this raw pork meal. And I remember looking at this thing and I'm like, okay, here in North America, obviously, you don't eat pork that's raw. And so I walk over to it and I'm like, okay, I just got to check this out. I'm not eating it, but I got to check it out. And it was ground pork with onions, salt, pepper, and you could serve it on bread or you served it on crackers. And I don't think I've ever been more grossed out in my life because, once again, it's ground pork. Like, I think there's lots of people that would be probably agreeing right now, and I don't have the nasty chat open, but they're like, well, no, you got to make sure that pork is cooked through. But no, these guys are eating it just with crackers and it's ground up and there's a little bit of onion there. And I'm like, man, that is some wild, wild work. Can't be doing that.
Yeah, because in North America, is not eating raw pork one of the most dangerous things you could do? Yeah. That's crazy. Did you ever find out if there was some special preparation?
It's a delicacy.
Really?
And it's a certain area. I think it's off the shoulder, so it's less fatty. And so just the way that they grind it up and do different things, it's actually called met. But then the way that you prepare it has different names. And I'm actually going to send it to you right now, Reid, so that you can see what I'm talking about. Because it is this one here is shaped as a bit of a hedgehog. But it's got its onions on it. Are you on WhatsApp?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll send it to you on WhatsApp because it's insane. But
yeah,
anyway,
Koob can get it up at some point. Yeah. Okay.
That's what I was.
So you didn't
working
bother
with.
trying it though.
Not a chance. I was like, you know what? I'll have the beers. Those are safe. I'll just go that way.
It's like a pork tartare.
Kind of, yeah. But like, you can't be eating pork tartare.
Well, I don't know that you can eat beef tartare. I guess it just depends on your. You do, but
beef tartare is a lot more safe than pork tartare.
You see, when I cook a pork chop, though, it's okay if it's a little bit pinkish in the rare, but you can have some pink in it. So there's got to be, maybe because there was a less fatty region of the animal that it came off of, that the Met was a hit. It looks delightful.
I got it up if you're up for people on YouTube.
Yeah, you got the little hedgehog there. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe we should get Gager and Belsey to prepare some Met for the station.
I did not expect that caliber of story. I kind of told, to be disclosure, I kind of told Belsey, I was like, I might ask you this. And he's like, okay. And I was like, okay, don't tell me anything. I did not expect, I thought it was going to be that at McDonald's, the burgers were half the size or something. I didn't expect a raw pork story.
I'm a sucker for food stories, Belsey. And one of my favorites and one of the things I love to cook most at home is a good schnitzel. Now you were in the motherland of schnitzel. Yes. Was it just that much better there? Was it,
it's unbelievable.
I love a good schnitzel story.
There was so when I lived in, and I'm trying to figure out which one place would probably been the best. Actually, so Giovanni's, I talk about this place lots, and because it was one of our good buddies, our meal that we would get, we'd go in, it'd be like anything you can drink. So not beers, any pop, coffee that you wanted, all you can eat soup, all you can eat pasta, and you had a schnitzel that was honestly this big.
Yes.
And so you could either get it panette or grilled. So obviously grilled, or you could get it breaded. And the breaded one, mit eye, which means egg. So you basically get a sunny side up egg on top of that breaded schnitzel. It was ridiculously good.
Okay. Those are great. Wellesley, we'll have to, in the summer, we'll maybe just do a food show.
We could.
Because Gager is a real big foodie too.
We'll bring a hot plate into the studio.
And we can just make whatever they say.
Here.
Yeah, what do we do? We'll see who. We'll be like an Iron Chef, JNL, see who can prepare it better while you guys are describing it. Shawn Belle joining us here on the Reid Wilkins Show with Jason Milne. Okay, fun stuff in the nasty chat, by the way. If you can't see it, you'll have to go back and look later. Tonight's game, are they hoping it's straight time, especially if you're the Oilers, as few whistles as possible? What's it feel like preparing for a game of this lack of magnitude?
Yeah, you're just trying to get through it as quick as you possibly can, and honestly, you're probably trying to wrap the Oilers up in a little bit of bubble wrap so they can just get through it without taking any injuries, because for whatever odd reason, they've had a good stretch where lots of guys have been hurt and guys are out in the lineup. But, from the Oilers' perspective, you're trying to prepare for the playoffs. And whether McDavid's in the lineup or Draisaitl or any of these guys that are potentially coming back, you still got to find maybe that elevated level to make sure that you're ready to go. But it is a hard game because the Sharks are also looking to be prepared to jump on the golf course tomorrow. So it's an interesting game. It's a little bit of psychological warfare because of that, because that team doesn't care and they actually can't spoil anything for you because you're already signed, sealed, and delivered to the playoffs. So for the Oilers, it's just make sure you're putting your best foot forward, get through that game clean, get some good habits, work on some details so that when you get to the playoffs, you feel good about your game.
Shawn Belle joining us, co-host of Hello Hockey, co-host with Tom Gazzola. That's available right here on EST every Saturday. Belsey, I wanted to ask you, and this is a question that came up, in the bullpen when Reid and I were sitting there talking, and given what happened between Nurse and Quentin Byfield, and the bad blood, of playing the same opponent 4 years in a row in the first round of the playoffs, is there a conversation that happens in the locker room? Maybe it's a select few, maybe it's the entire team. I don't know. that you would look at a player and say, okay, we need to target this player. This is a player that can do something stupid, can take a dumb penalty, can overreact, can snap, and we can exploit that. Does that conversation happen?
It has happened for sure. I think when guys are going through their rosters, and it's different at different levels. You get to junior levels, like you're having meetings about certain players. You're circling guys on your rosters and you're saying, okay, well, if we can take care of this guy, maybe that's different. It happens a little bit in the minors the same way. I think in the NHL, it's more or less just, who are the guys that are going to carry the mail. And so I look at that situation with Darnell and Byfield, and personally, I thought it was great. I had zero issues with it because I'm sitting there saying, okay, you're playing this team for the fourth time in a row in the first round. They haven't beaten you. They have actually made a concerted effort. They had a concerted effort to get bigger because they felt that you guys ran them out of the rink the year before. And they've had an unbelievable season. But the reality is you're going to play this team in the playoffs, and every little thing matters because playoffs is, it's obviously very physical, but there is a mental battle. There's a game within a game that you've got to understand and you've got to overcome. So when you're taking that shot at Byfield, well, you never know what's going to happen. Maybe he second guesses that little extra bit in the playoffs. Like, do I really want to go to the net that hard? Because I might take something that I don't want. And there is that game within the game. So, is it talked about much in the NHL? Probably not, because I think it's just very simply, these are the best players.
Yeah, that's a good one. I remember, talking about if you know a guy like Rob Brown, he probably still does, but he wouldn't like when Draisaitl 2 or 3 times a year would lose it because he would say all the players know maybe you can get to Draisaitl, right, and make him take a penalty at a bad time. Brownie used to tell me that the players when he played that he found the creepiest were the guys who never talked.
100%.
Like you'd be trash talking them and try to stick them, and they just never talk because you're like, wait a minute, when's he going to snap?
100%. Those are the guys, and it's like I was actually talking about this the other day at the Oiler game, and I'm like, it came to fighting, and I remember Aaron Downey. He asked me to fight in the minors, and the way he said it, I had to double take, and I'm like, why are you so calm, man? He's like, I don't know, let's just go put on a show. And in my head, I'm like, absolutely not, because those are the guys that are the craziest and the scariest. So it's the same thing when you poke a guy and you chirp a guy and he just blows up. Well, then I get it. It's like, I've got this guy hook, line, and sinker, but if he doesn't react, well, I don't know what's coming next.
All right. Shawn, always appreciate your time. Love having you. So you got Hello Hockey with Tom on Saturday, and of course you join us on the Hangout, this show, all the other EST things. We love having you. It was great seeing you earlier today. Enjoy tonight's game, buddy. Try.
Oh, I will. I'm going to be sitting on the couch, just feet up, probably having a slumber.
Yeah. Well, the players might too. Shawn Belle checking in. See you soon, buddy.
Take care, boys.
That's Shawn Belle, our colleague here at Edmonton Sports Talk and Hello Hockey. Checking
What a
in.
great guy.
Yeah, he's great. First of all, the depth and the detail of that food story was
the pork tartare.
I was totally drawn in. I was like, oh my God, he's taking us
Met.
into another world. And it's interesting. He said he actually didn't mind Nurse. He's basically saying, you know what, that's worth the game. Fine. Didn't hurt him.
Hey,
he only got a game.
If you could have read the future and say that was going to be worth one game, yes, any Oilers fan would have said, do it. Do it, do it, do it. I think.
Not always a pretty sport.
Well, no. And he's right in saying you're going to be playing these, this team for the next several games. So if you want to send a message, that was the time to do it.
All right, 780-218-9999 is the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. River Cree Resort and Casino featuring Italia Restaurant, home of the $6.99 brunch special from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Sundays. Our off-topic topic for William Huff is things Edmontonians say when spring is arriving. We're right around the corner. We've had some good submissions there. And our Hudson's Canada's Pub mystery athlete of the game. We have not yet had a winner. Maximum 3 guesses per person. You have to text in your guesses to the aforementioned number. Clue number 3 right now?
Yeah, why not?
Clue number 3 is Heritage Classic. So the clues are All-Star, Chiefs, Heritage Classic. If you are taking us in on one of the audio streaming apps, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, we thank you. Remember to favorite the station or set it as a preference, whatever you need to do. If you're on YouTube, remember to subscribe to Edmonton Sports Talk if you haven't already, and give us a thumbs up. Let's get a rally of clicks going. Our first goal is 100. If everybody rallied and clicked right away, we'd surpass 100 easily by the bottom of the hour. So don't wait. Get clicking. Kyle Bukauskas from Hockey Night in Canada is coming up in about 20 minutes. We have buying or selling for Damon Bunting straight ahead.
Stuart Skinner gets a start for the Oilers as they ice 12 forwards and 5 defensemen in San Jose. Connor McDavid sits just 1 point away from recording 100 points on the season. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. Tom Gazzola gets you set for the action at 7:30 right here on EST. In Montreal fights to book a ticket to the playoffs, needing just 1 point against the Hurricanes to take the final wild card spot in the East to battle the Caps in round 1. And for the Stars, Tyler Seguin returns to the lineup for the first time since December to face the Predators, while Vancouver hosts Vegas and the Ducks take on the Jets, seeing 6 games around the NHL. There's 3 games in the WHL playoffs, including Gavin McKenna and his Tigers looking to take a 3-0 series lead over the Raiders. On the court, there's 2 play-in matchups. The Bulls and Heat tip off while Dallas hits the road in Sacramento. Baseball saw the Blue Jays win 3-1 against the Braves. Right now, the Padres lead 3-2 on the Cubs in the 8th inning. This sports update is brought to you by Clover Bar Feeds. Clover Bar Feeds has all the animal feed you'll need. Get top-notch service and selection from their family-owned business. Visit Clover Bar Feeds at 200 Portage Close in Sherwood Park, or call them at 780-467-5014. Buying or selling for Damon Bunting brings us back once we get back from break. I'm Zachary Kubusch, and you're up to date.
Got some gently used furniture or home goods that need a new home? Find Edmonton is here to help. Every month we furnish over 100 homes to those transitioning out of homelessness, and we need your gently used furniture and home goods. Drop off at 5120 122nd Street or call for free local pickup. Just visit findedmonton.com to learn how your donations can help create a home for someone in need. Plus, shop our thrift store, in-store or online, with proceeds benefit those moving out of homelessness through housing supports. Visit us at findedmonton.com. Find Edmonton, supporting our community one home at a time.
Craving a late night snack? Hit the Banquet for our new late night happy hour. Sunday to Thursday, 9 p.m. till close. Try favorites like sweet and spicy lettuce wraps or our Banquet burger and fries, all at happy hour prices. The Banquet. Get real. Play hard.
The River Cree Resort and Casino presents Bump and Grind Rewind, May 16th, featuring Drew Hill. With Cisco and Genuine, plus DJ Hartman B. Bump and Grind Rewind. Friday, May 16th at the River Cree Resort and Casino. Get your tickets now at rivercreeresort.com.
And there they go to Sentinel Storage. The snowblower and winter gear goes in. They shoot, we store.
Need extra space? Store your winter gear with Sentinel Storage and win extra space at home. Try 4 weeks free at sentinelstorage.ca. Proud partner of the Edmonton Oilers.
Must you click? Click. Must you click?
Okay, hope you're having a great day. We sure are here at Edmonton Sports Talk. We are live and local 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. every weekday. We have pre- and post-game shows for Oilers games and for the Elks. Once they get back at it, you and Awanak, that kid, did the, what was it, the Green and Gold kickoff show?
Yeah.
Sure.
That's what it's called.
Jay's like, show has a name? What?
Yeah, no, I'm excited. That was fun last year.
Yeah, we have a great thing going at Edmonton Sports Talk. A little over a year and a half in, onward and upward. There's other exciting things that will be announced in the near future that I think people are going to like and that are further going to remind people that we are the real deal.
Ooh, gave me goosebumps.
I mean, we know we're the real deal. I think a lot of people listening know we're the real deal. But when you're new, you got to prove it, or it takes time to pull people in. And as you know, we still get a lot of, oh, what is this? Oh, so you just do a podcast every once in a while? No, we operate like a radio station. It's just not on a traditional radio.
Hey, Jay, how's the podcast going?
Well, yes, we do podcast it after we do our live show. I hope that's what you say to people.
Yeah. The off-topic topic for William Huff was things Edmontonians say when spring is around the corner. Nature Boy has a good one. Things said in Edmonton at springtime while surveying the freshly melted backyard. How can such a little dog create so much poop?
That's true. That's true.
Isn't it the truth?
Oh, I missed picking that up. Yeah. That's great. 780-218-9999, the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. Email Reid at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, Jay at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. I have a limerick from the Big Uke, who is the all-time leader in limericks written, the LW category. LGP, limerick games played. Finally, it's the end of the Oil's regular season. Nurse gets banned for one. You all know the reason. Habs to clinch? Better not flinch. Would anything make you commit EST treason? Oh, jeez, no.
Wow.
It got dark.
That got dark real fast.
Got dark quickly there, Uke. My goodness.
Reid, I know you don't like to do this.
What?
I know you don't like me to say a player that the mystery athlete of the game is not.
Or are we getting a lot of... Well,
we
it's
are.
Your call.
We're getting a lot. Well, I just want to say thank you. This is a first-time texter that got it wrong. Okay. But I'd like to say thank you for texting in. You did not attach a name, so you know who you are. Send me what name and handle you want to go by. But I'm going to say this out loud because I want to say thanks for texting. It is not Ryan O'Reilly.
Okay.
Okay?
Have other people guessed that? How come yours... Maybe you don't want to say. Can I ask why you're singling this one out?
Because this is this person's first text to EST.
Oh, ever. They're trying.
They're trying.
Maybe it's Ryan O'Reilly texting in.
This is a new...
Maybe that's
maybe not a new
handle.
listener, but a first-time texter. So I just wanted to celebrate it and, say thanks for listening.
No, Koob's ready with the... right on. South side, is it Stobie? I think it's just crazy that people just let their dog poop in the backyard and not pick it up immediately and leave it all for spring. Well, sometimes it's really cold and Little Jingles runs out and does his business pretty quickly. Maybe you're not going to get it. I don't know.
What it is it's the overnight snow.
Oh, that too, yeah.
That hides it. And you can't go out looking for it. This is not a mission to find this turd.
He's on a mission to find a turd. Actually, that would have been the next Rambo movie. Turd Finder. Rambo 5, Turd Finder. All right. It is, it's buying or selling. That's where we're going. I get distracted by anything to do with turd. As you know from the stand-up comedy I showed you earlier today.
Okay, hang on. Reid showed me this video of his, this was, I guess it was
2015.
A media comedy show.
Andrew Gross, who used to be a colleague at Ched, he was on the afternoon show, put on a comedy festival, and he had a media challenge as part of it, and I went in it 3 times.
So what I want to do, and I didn't ask you this off air, I'm going to ask you it live. Would you be comfortable with me having that video and clipping appropriate portion for the show so we could show everybody of your comedic brilliance?
We could, there was only like 2 things that got big laughs. Maybe,
it was great.
Yeah, maybe we can do it.
I still can't believe you did not win that. That was a great set. It was
that
very
was the best
professional.
set I did of the 3. It doesn't mean it was a great set.
Oh, so it wasn't your first time.
I had a couple good lines in there.
You did, and
it was all personal, which was it was all based on personal experience.
I thought I was watching a real comedian. The way that you wrapped it up at the end, like in a perfect bow tie, And you know how you finish and you bring up jokes you told earlier in the set to the end?
That was the best part.
It was really good. Would you give me permission? Tastefully.
Yeah, we can do something.
Okay, I
swore in it. Well, I used the word for poo.
Well, we could beep it.
I didn't use the F word, right? I didn't do anything overly filthy.
No, we could bleep it.
Yeah.
I think it would be great for the show. Just release a bit at a time.
Yeah, that's sure people will be on the edge of their seat for that.
Reid, you have no idea how much people would want to see that.
Fair enough. I don't. You're right. I don't have any idea how people would want to see that. Did I do the David Bunting read? I don't think I did.
I don't think you did.
David Bunting has been assistant. This is buying or selling for David Bunting, a consistent top producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for over 17 years. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Community driven. He understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out, DamonBunting.com. Instagram handle, Damon Bunting Real Estate. Oilers and Sharks tonight, by the way. If you missed the lineup, McDavid will play. No Kane, no Draisaitl, no Hyman, no Frederick, no Wallman on the back end. Nurse still out, so it'll be 12 forwards and 5 defensemen with Stuart Skinner starting in net.
By the way, that was Roddy, the first-time texter.
Oh, nice.
He sent in his handle, so hello, Roddy.
Yeah, I think he still has 2 guesses left.
Yes,
Don't
he does.
forget, maybe if he's new, maybe he didn't hear the entire rules, or maybe he's just never, we don't know if he's a new listener, but you have maximum 3 guesses per person. The clues are All-Star, Chiefs, and Heritage Classic. Buying or selling? Buying or selling, you care if McDavid gets to 100 points tonight?
No. But does he?
Well, once he's in the game, he'll probably want to win.
I mean, the likelihood of it is high. The probability is over 50%.
Yeah, for sure.
I wonder that. Is that something, 100-point seasons, is that something... I would imagine Connor doesn't really care about much now other than the main one, the big one, the Stanley Cup. But you never know.
I mean, it would be 6 consecutive 100-point seasons. He would have had it in the pandemic shortened season, but I mean, they didn't play enough games. It would be his, what are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4. It would be his 8th time over 100 points. I don't know if he's really thinking about it.
Well, I certainly don't think
he's going to get it.
I certainly don't think he's playing like the organization is saying we got to play him tonight.
No,
to get that.
No,
I think this is something where he just wants to get the wheels turning before the playoffs start.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay just if Connor McDavid enters the ice for power plays only and stays off the rest of the time. That'd be okay.
Yeah. Buying or selling, you would give Hudson a shift with Connor McDavid.
Buying. Why not?
Why not?
Why not? This game is 100% meaningless. Really? So why not?
All right.
Buying or selling? Reid?
Yes.
Is Winnipeg now locked in as, well, maybe Canadian second team? Canada's second team.
So you're saying aside from every fan base?
Yes.
So are we leaving out the Flames and the Canucks?
Well, we have to because they're not in the playoffs.
So of the 5 Canadian teams that are in the playoffs, the Jets will be the second choice of Oilers fans, Senators fans, Canadiens fans, and Leafs fans.
Yeah.
You might be onto something.
I don't know who else it would be. Should your team get bounced in the first round, then who are you throwing your support behind as because
at a political convention. Well, let's take all my delegates over here.
Sure. Because the term has been thrown around before. This is now Canada's team.
Yep.
To end the drought. But I think it has to be Winnipeg.
Okay, well, I think for Oilers fans,
there's just too much disdain.
There might be some Ottawa and some Montreal, probably mostly Winnipeg. Toronto fans are not going to cheer for Ottawa and probably not for Montreal. And probably not, most of them not for Edmonton because there's still cheese that we got McDavid. So by default, it would probably be Winnipeg. Ottawa fans would not cheer for Toronto, probably wouldn't cheer for Montreal. So maybe Edmonton or Winnipeg there. And then the same goes.
Well, it'd be like Edmonton cheering for Vancouver.
Neither Montreal nor Ottawa fans are going to cheer for the Leafs. And then they're probably not going to cheer for the other team because of rivalry. So then they're going to... So they might say Winnipeg too.
I think Winnipeg is just in the perfect neutral territory situation.
Right. And there are fans who...
Literally, too.
Right. And let's face it. I mean, when we're in oil country, we often talk about teams that Oilers fans dislike. A lot of other Canadian fans dislike the Oilers because they'll say, yeah, this stupid team was like terrible for 10 years, got 3 number 1 overall picks, were still terrible, and then they got McDavid. Like, you know, you have to understand how that would look if it was another team. You'd think, God, like they get rewarded for being bad for that long, right? So I think there's some resentment of the Oilers from other fan bases.
Big Uke, Canada-wide, it says Canada-wide, it would be, or Canada-wise, it would be between Ottawa and Winnipeg.
Yeah, probably.
And I think Ottawa would be the second team there. I mean, let's face it, everybody in Western Canada is cheering for them to beat the Leafs. Unless you're a Leafs fan.
Probably, yeah, except for the Leafs fans.
But they are cheering for that upset. It would just be magical. Did you hear Matty sound off on it on the Hangout today?
No, what did he say?
He doesn't want the Leafs to lose, you know, in Game 7 or a heart. He wants them to be decimated. He wants them to lose in a terrible fashion. He wants it to be bad.
That's so cruel.
He's a cruel man.
Yeah, he really is. So what does he mean, though? Like, to me, Game 7 overtime is a pretty heartbreaking way to lose, which is how they lost to Boston last year, right? Was that last year or the year before? No, that was last year.
Well, okay. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to be against Ottawa in the first round series, but even something like, you know, you have Mitch Marner score the Game 7 round 1 game winner to go to round 2. They lose. They get pummeled by whichever team comes out of Florida and Tampa, like 4-1.
Right.
And then they lose Mitch Marner in the offseason.
Okay, so he's talking like
just keep it going.
Summer of
just
pain,
keep kicking
not
this
just
ball
a
down the
playoff
road.
Loss. He's talking. Why does he need to humiliate them?
He's got a very much so a personal vendetta,
streak, doesn't he?
Yeah. Well, you've seen him.
I think the Jets. Again, I think the Jets would be a comfortable champion if a Canadian fan couldn't get his own team to win it and end the Canadian drought. Daniel and Nash says, Reid, do you have Twitter? I do use Twitter. I don't tweet a ton. My account is simply Reid Wilkins, ReidWilkins. No spaces, no underscores or anything like that. I don't know why he wants to know that.
I want to know why.
Yeah, what do you need off Twitter?
Yeah, what are you getting at?
Now we're all suspicious, buddy.
What are you getting at, Daniel?
What, are you going to tweet me? You going to try to sell me stuff? Are you a Nigerian prince? Then you need rescue? You need $14 million?
We almost
you're going to give
invested
me
in one of those.
$14 million. Yeah. Okay.
We almost invested in one
speaking of princes, this guy is a prince of your television during the playoffs and all season long on Hockey Night in Canada and Sportsnet. Kyle Bukauskas making his second appearance on the Reid Wilkins Show when we get back.
Connor McDavid enters Game 82 just 1 point back of recording his 8th career 100-point season. Stuart Skinner gets a start against the Sharks as the Oilers roll with 12 forwards and 5 defensemen in San Jose. Tom Gazzola gets you set for the action as he goes live for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show at 7:30 only on EST. And the Canadians will clinch a playoff berth if they get at least 1 point against the Hurricanes to book a Montreal-Washington matchup for the second time ever. Elsewhere, the Stars welcome back Tyler Seguin to face the Preds. Winnipeg hosts Anaheim. The Devils battle the Red Wings while the Golden Knights meet the Canucks, and trailing 2-1 in their series with the Silvertips. Portland and Everett go at it with 3 games around the WHL. In baseball, Toronto got past Atlanta 3-1 right now in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Padres are up 3-2 over The Cubs and the NBA play-in tournament continues. Miami takes on Chicago as the Mavs tip off with the Kings. This sports update is brought to you by Paramount Flooring. Proudly serving Edmonton and area for over 30 years, their West End showroom is open 7 days a week. You can also shop online at ParamountFlooring.ca. We go around the NHL once we get back from break. I'm Zachary Kubusch, and you're up to date.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
You've always known GCL Diesel as the experts in diesel fuel systems, but did you know that GCL is also your source for turbochargers and turbo repair? As a turbo supplier for Garrett, Borg Warner, and Holset, GCL can provide genuine original equipment turbos at wholesale prices. Whether it's diesel, gas, natural gas, or performance, we can provide you with the turbo or custom repair you require. Turbo questions? We've got turbo answers. Visit us in the West End or online at gcldiesel.com. GCL Diesel, turbochargers, understood.
Downsizing, upsizing, or staging your home to sell? Sentinel Storage is Edmonton's team for affordable storage solutions. Try 4 weeks free. Details at sentinelstorage.ca.
Sentinel Storage, proud partner of the Edmonton Oilers.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
All right, appreciate you tuning in this afternoon. Remember, if you are taking us in on YouTube,
Click, click, click. Must you click? Please, please click. Must you click? You must click. Thumb, thumb, thumb.
yes, click that thumbs up button. We're almost at 100. We want to get to 130 to get into word of the day territory, which we have before we sign off at 6. We want to get to 155, preferably to get you a double word of the day. One of the great things about the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs is just all the hockey you can watch on television, and and then you follow it on, and it's great to have informative, genuine personalities delivering your hockey coverage to you. And one guy who definitely fits the bill, he's on Sportsnet, he's on Hockey Night in Canada, he's on the 32 Thoughts podcast, and he's on this show for the second time. Kyle Bukauskas checking in. Kyle, it's Reid and Jay. How are you doing?
Hey, good. I was going to say, you've got the wrong guy with that intro. You've got the wrong guy.
Oh, you're very modest, but thank you for taking the time to come on. You were one of our, it was like the first or second week you were willing to jump on the show, which was cool because you and I have kind of known each other for a while, but it's not like we go back to kindergarten. So it was cool. You were one of the first people to jump on, and you keep in touch, and you're coming on again. You're getting ready for the grind of the playoffs. I know you love what you do, but it involves a lot of travel. And I'm curious, like, are you a good traveler? Are you a good hotel sleeper? Are you a good eater when you're on the road? Or what's that like for you when you're away from home for a while?
So I got to tell you, I've gotten better at honing in on the sleep over the years, like just knowing how much of, as you say, the grind and how taxing it is. And it's funny, like every year, you get to the Stanley Cup final and, we're all fried to some degree. And we haven't even played a shift. Like I'm going, I don't know how these players have been doing it, playing every other night for 2 months on top of the 82 games prior to that. It always blows me away. So sleep I've gotten better at. Like I'm, from hotel to hotel, not much of an issue for me. Eating is something that's it's come a long way. I've had to learn, certainly as you get a little bit older, you've got to pick your spots when to have a green light night in terms of, enjoying something a little more comforting as opposed to something more practical. So that's always kind of a thing. Like I'll tell you, like I don't want to give any free plugs or anything, but the food delivery services are big fans of mine, particularly at this time of year, because I tend to be, certainly the night before games, a little bit more of a hermit and just stay in the hotel room, watching whatever other games are on that night, and try to get myself in the right headspace and just do a little bit more of preparation work that way. And so usually I'm ordering takeout of some kind. So that is typically the rinse, wash, repeat for me is that. And then the next night is a game night. And then it's back to being in the hotel or you're traveling. And it's that over and over again. But, now that we've got the Battle of Ontario secured and I live here in Ottawa, it sounds like there's a good chance I could be working now in the first round. So some unexpected nights at home in the playoffs. It's been a long, long time since I've experienced that.
Kyle, I wanted to ask you because, certainly when my wife was in labor, we have 3 daughters and you'd have a baby bag ready to go for when the wife says, we got to go to the hospital. So, we don't know when the playoffs are going to start. You have an idea of what series you're going to cover, but you don't know. So you're going to have to jet off to Toronto or drive to Toronto. Do you have your baby bag ready to go for when the time, when the time comes and your name is called?
No, like, as I said, it's going to be a different kind of mindset this year because I'm, in theory, if that's what ends up happening, I'm only going to Toronto for 2 games and then I'm coming right back home again. So usually I'm used to, like Craig Simpson jokes, he called like the suitcase I roll out come playoff time. He affectionately calls it the barge. And so I pack for, for a whole series, like effectively I pack for 2 weeks. And usually there's most cases at some point I'm able to go home at the end of the series, but it's not always the case, right? Like sometimes you go to 7 games, like last year, for instance, Toronto-Boston went the distance. And then, the series I worked the next round was Boston-Florida. And that was, 2 nights later. So you worked game 7 on a Saturday night, woke up first thing Sunday morning and flew down to Florida on Sunday. And then Monday night was game 1 of the second round. So now you're trying to find a place to do laundry. Usually that's through the hotel. I think the bag typically, Jay, is like too big to just kind of have always at the ready. So I need to park time for it.
See, this is what I love having. Like, we get all these behind the scenes because I've never traveled to that extent covering hockey or anything like that. Like, so this is awesome that people don't realize, like, when Kyle's signing off after a game, he's already thinking like, hey, taxi, hotel, plane, like what's going on?
And something did just I saw and I've seen you on social media and I wonder, is there room in that bag for your own coffee setup? Because I know how important coffee is to you, Kyle. Maybe you can, for those that don't know, tell everybody your desire and love for coffee. And if you don't take your own, I guess, barista station, are you the kind that would go to, a place that usually doesn't change from city to city? Are you looking and searching out the smaller, the roasteries and whatnot in the towns you go to?
Yeah. So first off, shout out Rogue Wave in Edmonton. They do a tremendous job in your guys' town there. So yes, you always got to make room for the essentials, right? Extra pair of running shoes for the workout. Not going to have enough room for it. However, my AeroPress, the grinder, the scale, always going to be room for that. So yeah, I do enjoy it. And it's just, I know like a lot of people look at that and go like, you're nuts. Why don't you just go into the hotel lobby and pour yourself a cup there? Totally fair. Totally a justifiable thing to say, but I really do enjoy just the process first of like going through brewing a cup of coffee, even in somewhere like a hotel room. Most hotels, have like a kettle you can call down for and they'll bring up to your room. So you get the water nice and hot. And then as you say, Jay, like, I'll try to explore in different cities, and some you kind of have the favorites and the go-tos, but when you go to a city you're maybe not as familiar with, you do a bit of exploring and go to find a local shop. And that's a really fun thing for me. As I say, like I don't do a ton of like dinners out when I'm on the road. So that's kind of, the main part of my exploring when it comes to a very busy playoff schedule is finding a local coffee shop there that, roast their own beans and buy a bag. And then, okay, that's my coffee that I'm grinding and brewing over the course of of the series. So just like a nice little bit of, me time in it amongst, just a very busy schedule on game days or off days. Just a little bit of, comfort there for the 15 minutes you spend, going through that process, and then hopefully enjoying the cup. I still don't know if I'm any good at making it, but at least I've acquired my own taste for my own stuff.
This is awesome. Like now people watching and listening to us, when they see Kyle during the plays, yeah, I know something about him. Like, hey, I heard about this guy. So in this role that I have, Kyle, people always want to know my predictions. And what I find interesting is I'll give my predictions on air, and then I'll be out with a buddy or someone will recognize me in a store and be like, hey, Reid, what do you really think is going to happen in that series? And it's like, I told you, I picked, like it's a prediction. Like your role is like you're national, you're covering a lot of different teams. Do buddies, people in your neighborhood, like do they come to you for predictions, and how do you handle those? Do you give them, or do you kind of be like, okay, you know what, I'm not going down that avenue?
Yeah, I don't care for the exercise, Reid. I got to be honest with you, and I totally understand why it happens, and it's good fodder certainly. But I just, because like, how can you possibly know? I mean, it's one thing to lay out kind of what you think's going to happen. Now we're so close to the beginning of opening night of the playoffs, but every now and then, it's mid-January and someone in passing goes, "Hey, who's winning it all this year?" I'm like, I don't know. Like, how am I supposed to even, provide any type of logical, well-thought question, because there's just so many variables that go into it. So I do try to avoid that, but it's harder and harder now, especially doing the podcast with Elliot. He likes that stuff, and he's, you can't waffle. Like, you've got to take a stance on something and what you feel. So I've been forced to get a little more used to those conversations, but I still don't love them.
Yeah, I hear you.
Kyle Bukauskas joining us from Sportsnet, Hockey Night in Canada, and 32 Thoughts. Kyle, I want you to get your prediction for the Ottawa-Toronto. No, just kidding.
Yeah. No, that's going to be a fun one. I'm happy to talk about it, but geez.
Well, yes, and I wanted to ask you, and we can get into that after for sure. The 32 Thoughts, the podcast that you co-host with Elliot Friedman. I mean, that's a massive podcast. My question to you is did you come into that thinking you knew something, or thinking podcasting or how it works, and finding out that you know absolutely nothing about it, or something that you were shocked to find out about as you went through that process?
I'm sure for those who listen to it, I'm sure they've definitely felt that I came across that I knew nothing about podcasts. I don't blame them one bit. No, Jay, I had no preconceived notions. I'm still trying to figure out television, and I've been doing that for over 11 years at Sportsnet. So to think I had any inkling about how podcasts work, and certainly a show like that, would have been absolutely foolish of myself. No, it was a terrifying, kind of decision to make, like an exciting one. Don't get me wrong. But, just understanding, obviously, the work that Elliot does is I still admire, and even more so now because I'm seeing it up close, and working trade deadline in studio for the first time, and sitting next to him for how long we were on the air for that day, and witnessing all of that first person was really cool. So I think but with all that, like going in knowing that this is going to be I just hadn't done it before, Jay. Like I've been guests on other podcasts or other talk shows and radio shows. They'll come on for an appearance, something like this. I appreciate you guys having me on here, but I've never helped drive the bus for something, either on radio or a podcast for any degree of regularity before. So as much as, the bulk of the information comes from Elliot's side and the work that he does, the ability to drive the bus and to navigate whatever we're going to talk about in a given episode. It's taken some time to really get comfortable in that spot, and I'm still getting used to it. Don't get me wrong. But the fact that it was, 2 episodes a week, and you're still, into it, every other day, and trying to keep up with what's going on around the league. And the scope's just so much wider now in terms of, what I try to keep tabs on. And not only, I'm kind of aware of with what's going on here and there, but how do I feel about it when, we're going to discuss some of these topics on the podcast. Like, that's all been just a huge growing and learning experience for me over the course of this year. And I don't for a second think that I'm anywhere close to having it figured out, but I do feel, there's progress made and feel a little bit more comfortable as we go along. And, hopefully there's the opportunity to continue to do it with him, because it's a lot of work, don't get me wrong, but it is, very rewarding, and just been a really neat and just almost a different audience in a way to connect with that. I just hadn't experienced yet. Even, I've been so fortunate to be on Hockey Night in Canada for a little while now. Just a different set of cards with the podcast to this point.
Okay, I know we only got you for a couple more minutes. Thanks so much again for doing this. And obviously in the East, you probably got dinner or family responsibilities or whatever. I got to ask you the bit of a goofy one. What is the worst mispronunciation and or misspelling you've seen, heard of your last name?
Oh boy. The worst misspell. I don't know. Like, there's just the misspelling. Like it's you've seen them once. You've seen them a few times. Like usually there's an extra letter thrown in there, or there's an S missing somewhere. I'm trying to think back. Like in my minor hockey days, like you'd go to a tournament and stuff, and you'd even got to a situation where you play in these games, and they would have someone from the Minor Hockey Association volunteer to do a bit of PA work and announce the goals and assists, which, it felt like you were playing in the NHL when you had one of those games, right? To hear your name called over the speakers if you scored. Not that I scored very often, but the rarer time that it did, and there's a few times where they would say like number 9 Kyle, and they got to the last name, and clearly they hadn't read it over first, and it's like real time they're processing, going, I have no idea how to say this name, and they just bail. They just wouldn't even attempt. You know what I mean? Like, so those were the ones where you kind of remember and just always chuckle. But beyond that, I mean, it hasn't been bungled up too often, thankfully. And the real thing is, it's a lot of letters. It can be intimidating because there's 9 letters, and maybe that can scare off some people. But there's no hidden sounds in there. There's no letters that is not there that you're supposed to say. No fancy accents or anything like that. It really is just how it's spelt out. You just got to be patient with it. That's all.
All right, we'll wrap up. We got so many great stories from you. We didn't do a lot of hockey. Just give us. I'm not going to ask for a prediction. Couple keys for Leafs Senators. I believe the Sens swept the season series, but I feel this is a bulkier version of the Maple Leafs than maybe we've seen in playoffs past. What are you looking at?
Yeah, I agree. And you remember, like, when they met 4 times in 5 years in the early 2000s, that was often the case too, that Ottawa won the season series. And we all know how the playoff series turned out in each of those occasions. So the same thing here. I don't put much stock into what played out between them in the 3 meetings during the regular season. But there's this narrative out here, guys, that, Toronto's got all the pressure because, they're the favorite coming in. Ottawa, it's been 8 years. Like, they come in relaxed, like nothing to lose. This is house money that they're playing with. I really believe, like, the only reason Toronto's going to feel pressure is if, like, the Senators make them feel pressure. Like, I remember Craig Simpson saying when he was on the coaching staff, when the Oilers played Detroit in the first round in 2006 and the underdogs there, and Craig McTavish coming in before the series, one of the first team meetings, and saying to the guys, like, we've got to beat them quick. You know what I mean? And I know it still took them 6 games to finish them off, but just that whole mindset of, like, getting after them early and just planting that seed of doubt that, like, holy smokes, here, we're supposed to win this series, and it's not totally going the way that we thought it would be, because Toronto looks very good. I know there's some underlying numbers that maybe don't look as positive on them, but for, in large part, they're a team that's the Craig Berube factor, I firmly believe is a real thing here for them. A lot of the same players are still around, but just having that different voice there at the helm, I think it completely changes the mindset for a team that's, a lot of the similar failures year after year here with this group. So for the Senators, if they're going to have a chance in this series, they've got to do a job in terms of planting the seed of doubt early on and really make them think that, why is this series getting away from us? Because at this point, I think Toronto's got a lot of good things going for them. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Kyle, I can tell from our chat and our text, you got a lot of fans in oil country, a lot of people who appreciate your work and are looking forward to seeing you every second night, at least throughout or maybe every night throughout the postseason. I'll tell you what, I love having you on as a guest.
I will keep, but we will keep bugging you to come on the show. Here's my hope: is that you're in Edmonton in about a month, and we got a space for you right here between Jay and I, and maybe we get you in, and the Oilers are enjoying another deep run.
Hey, I would love that. As I say, I had such a blast in your city last spring as they went all the way to the final there. Like some real core memories that'll stick with me forever. And if it's the opportunity to go back out there again this spring, I would love nothing more. So yeah, would love to see you guys in person.
And the coffee's on us. There is a really good roastery like 2 blocks away. So we'd get the good coffee for you, Kyle.
Jay, I'm in, man. Like you're speaking my language now. I may just come out there like just because at this point.
Yeah, you just come show up one day. We'll bring you on. Like if you show up, you're on the show. So yeah, you don't have to tell us. Thanks, buddy.
Awesome.
Really appreciate it.
Thanks, boys. This was fun. Thank you.
Kyle Bukauskas checking in, Hockey Night in Canada, Sportsnet 32 Thoughts podcast, and maybe someday he will join us here in the Banquet studio. Spin to Win Fridays at the Banquet. Spin the wheel for a chance to win big and save on your bill. Details at thebanquetbar.com. I think he's great. He's so down. He's just so genuine. He's easy to listen to. He knows his stuff. And a very good contributor to our Voices of the Game segment. For Windsor Plywood Leduc, locally owned and operated since 1993. We're more than just plywood. We offer everything from doors and flooring to decking, fencing, and custom millwork. With a huge selection of hardwoods and knowledgeable staff, we're here for all your DIY needs. Windsor Plywood Leduc, the experts you need to know. Second appearance on the show for Kyle.
Not bad. And he does a wonderful job on 32 Thoughts.
Yeah, he's good. He's just solid. And he's just
good dude.
He just communicates well. He's easy to listen to. He doesn't take himself too
you can listen
serious.
to
him. There's no ego or arrogance coming across. He just works hard, does his job.
Any person that brings their own AeroPress and grinder on the road with them, that speaks volumes.
That's what I love. Like now, the people who listen to us and then see him, we're going to be watching with buddies or a spouse. Like, this guy likes coffee like you do or something. He was great.
Good stories.
Okay, we're rolling into the final hour of the show. Drew Remenda's coming up. We got our Play More Tables game of the night or games of the night. We got fired up. We got word of the day, hopefully words of the day. Keep clicking the thumbs up button on YouTube. Let's see how high we can climb. A little inconsistent with the thumbs today. So let's everybody rally and get clicking away with that. And our fourth clue in the Hudson's Canada's Pub Mystery Athlete of the Game is we don't have a winner.
No.
Confirmed. The fourth clue is twice in one season. So the clues are All-Star, Chiefs, Heritage Classic, twice in one season. Somebody's got to get it now.
We'll find out.
Back after the 5 o'clock break.
The EST Hangout.
I don't want them to lose. I want pure heartbreak. If they could lose to the Sens, how great would that be? This team has missed the playoffs for how many years? You meet them after winning the division and you lose to your provincial rival. Or Marner has this great playoffs and he walks on you. That's the stuff I want.
The EST Hangout, presented by Sentinel Storage. Weekday mornings 9 to 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Spin to Win Fridays at the Banquet. Every Friday, spin the wheel for a chance to win big and save on your bill. It's that easy. Spin, win, and save. Don't miss out. Details at thebanquetbar.com. The Banquet. Get real. Play hard.
At Mind 360, we invite you to embark on your mental health journey in a safe and comfortable space. Conveniently located in St. Albert, Mind 360 has a diverse team of experienced clinicians that offer a broad range of tailored services for children, adults, and families. Furthermore, we are very proud to serve our military, veterans, and first responders. If you're looking for counseling, treatment, or assessment, understand that you are not alone. Contact Mind 360 at mind360.ca to book an appointment today.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc, we're the experts you need to know.
Stuart Skinner gets the start in Game 82 of the regular season. The Oilers facing the Sharks, and Connor McDavid sits at 99 points as the Oilers dress 12 forwards and 5 defensemen in San Jose. And on a 6-game slate, 2 games get underway in just a moment. With 1 point against the Canes, the Canadians can punch their ticket to the playoffs for the first time since going to the final in 2021, while the Jets and Ducks go at it. For the Stars, Ty Sagan returns to the lineup for the first time since December as Dallas meets Nashville. And WHL playoff action has Lethbridge leading Calgary 2-1 entering Game 3 of their series. In the NBA, Bulls and Heat go toe-to-toe while the Mavericks battle the Kings for the only 2 games in the play-in tournament. Earlier, Toronto beat Atlanta 3-1. Seattle-Toronto goes Friday. Right now, there's 5 games live, including the Reds down 2-0 to the Mariners midway through the second. I'm Zachary Kubusch. That was your sports update. The final segment of the final hour of the Reid Wilkins Show starts right now.
Must you click? Click. Must you click?
Oh, hi, Zach. What'd you do at work today? Okay, well, we got this idiotic host, and he sang this click song. So I took it, and I remixed it so he sounds even goofier than he usually does. We're over 100 thumbs. We got a bit of a rally there with the thumb. Let's keep going. Let's get to 130 next, and then push forward from there. Those people who emailed the incorrect bracket have sent another email saying, oh, we made a mistake with the bracket. We had Eastern teams playing Western teams in the first round, but the Stanley Cup odds remain the same, according to their simulation. They have the Winnipeg Jets as the favorite, 15.3%. Colorado next at 11.3%. Toronto, 8.7%. LA, 7.8%. Edmonton, 6.9%. Edmonton down as the 7th most favorite team to win the Cup, but they have Edmonton beating LA in the first round.
Anyway. I don't know. I don't even know how that person got our email.
Well,
maybe they're a listener.
Maybe they're a listener in England, and then, well, I don't know. Like, I'm sorry if I made fun of them, but you can't do playoff predictions and have Washington playing Calgary in the first round. Like, sorry, that kind of hurts your credibility. That's all I'm saying. Limerick coming in from Michael. Season finale is versus the Sharks. The Oilers will find them easy marks. A hundo is Connors. The Kings are goners. The superior pop splash is Barks. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I like rhyming Connors and goners, and I like the fifth line is supposed to be preferably kind of nonsensical.
Yeah, off the wall.
Loosely tied into the rest of it. That was a good effort. You had the applause. We do have a winner in the Hudson's Canada's Pub Mystery Athlete of the Game.
We do.
Let's go, girls.
So, who is the winner?
Mick Brownmark.
All right. Interesting handle.
Mick Brownmark for the win.
Well, I guess that could actually be a name. That could be a name. Hyphenated? Brown-Mark?
Maybe it's Mark McBrown.
Maybe. Probably a first-time winner, we think.
Or maybe it's McBurr, and then his first name's
Oh, so it's like Mick,
Mark.
like MC, not Mick, M-I-C-K.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, Mick, like McDonald.
Oh, I got it. Okay. Well, good handle, I guess. He's probably just laughing.
What's going on?
Laughing that we're analyzing it. Like, that's great. All right. So McBrownmark gets a $25 gift card to Hudson's Canada's Pub. The first clue was All-Star. This person was an All-Star in the ECHL in 2020. The second clue was Chiefs. This person played in the BCHL for the Chilliwack Chiefs in 2014-15. The third clue, Heritage Classic. This person's only NHL goal was scored in last season's Heritage Classic twice in one season. This person was traded twice in one season, specifically this season. From Vancouver to Pittsburgh and then Pittsburgh to San Jose. The fifth clue, if we would have needed it, was 183rd, which is where this person was taken in the 2016 draft. I'm sure everybody else has figured it out by now. It is
Vinny Desharnais.
Vinny Desharnais.
McBrown-Mark, I think if Uke is correct in the nasty chat, we might have just got quasi-Henwade.
Oh, probably.
He figures it stands for McDavid, Connor Brown, and Janmark.
That's never been a line. That has never been a line.
McBrown-Mark, we need some clarification.
No, I don't think we necessarily need to know the...
Why?
Well, with a handle like that, it could come from a very unfortunate incident. could have arisen from something rather...
Oh, Reid.
Well, I'm just saying.
You say what everybody's thinking.
My stand-up earlier.
I did?
Yeah.
That topic was prevalent.
Yes, it really was. Okay. Congratulations to McBrown-Mark. The Hudson's Canada's pub is Vinny Desharnais. We will have another Mr. Athlete next week on a game day.
TBD.
We should have at least a couple game days next week. So that's good.
It's exciting. Playoffs are fun.
I am ready for the playoffs to start. I'm looking forward to
NBA
several
playoffs
matchups. I'm not looking forward to those as much.
Well,
really at all. I'm sorry.
Last night's game was great. Memphis at Golden State.
I didn't get to watch much of anything last night, unfortunately, but
it was
I'll
good.
take your word for it.
It was classic Steph Curry. Poured in 37 points, hit the clutch shots at the clutch times. I was actually going back and forth with Rip City Step, who was pulling for Memphis, who pulled it in. You know, they made a game of it, but it eventually Golden State won 121.
So this team gets the 7 seed, the winners from last night.
That's right.
So tonight's games are the losers out.
Losers out.
And the winner travels to the winners of last night's game.
That's right.
The 8th seed. Okay. 780-218-9999 is the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. River Cree Resort and Casino, home of Tap 25 restaurant, where the entire menu is 50% off 7 days a week from 2 to 5 p.m. Awesome deal there. Well, there's one playoff spot still up for grabs, and that's going to be my focus for our game of the night, presented by Play More Tables and Games. From ping pong and pool tables to darts and dome hockey, plus all the classic arcade action you could ask for, visit Canada's game room experts.
Play more tables and games.
Locations in Edmonton and Calgary are online at playmoregames.ca. By the way, that's a little Dustin Nielsen clip from his demo tape when he was auditioning for America's Got Stars or whatever it's called.
Play more tables and games.
I've received some information about the Nielsen show. Okay, I have someone on the inside of that show.
Okay.
Apparently, the playoff song is produced and ready.
Whoa.
I actually have additional information about the playoff song that I will not disclose.
Reid.
And I believe, I don't know what time it will debut, but I have my Thursday hit at 7:45 tomorrow morning. So I believe the playoff song...
What's it have to do with you?
Nothing. They're just going to play it. No, I shouldn't say nothing. I don't know. Maybe nothing. I'm going to be talking about the playoffs. So I don't know when they're going to debut it, but I think they will play it around or during my appearance.
Wow.
I'm sure they'll play it more than once. I mean, you play good stuff like that more than once.
Why can't you get...
Dungeons and Dragons.
Why can't you give us more information?
I've disclosed all the information that I'm comfortable disclosing.
Wow.
But I have someone on the inside of the Nielsen show, okay?
Okay. That leaves the 3 people.
And I believe the playoff song, I strongly believe that the playoff song is produced and ready.
Wow.
And if it does not debut for my hit tomorrow morning, it will be played in lockstep with my hit.
Well, it has to debut tomorrow. No?
Yep.
Tomorrow's the last day of broadcasting.
That's why I'm leaking that it's produced and ready.
Wow.
As I said, I have someone...
What time's this hit?
I'm on at 7:45 a.m.
7:45. Okay, we'll turn it on.
Brah.
We'll turn it on. That's just before we get out to get the girls on the bus.
Yeah, Koob the Corgi will want to listen.
He will? Okay. Now I know. Now I know more. It's some sort of a dog song. Cool. My game of the night is the 9-10 matchup. You know I like my late games, Reid. Dallas is visiting Sacramento. Loser goes home.
He's a man who likes his late games. Join Jay at night.
Live stream me sitting on the couch watching basketball. 8 to 10 weeknights. Interesting. Okay. Well, I'm excited for tonight and tomorrow.
Good. Keep giving us the thumbs up on YouTube, by the way. We're within 20 of 130. So let's get there. So at least we get one word of the day.
It was the line of McLeod, Brown, and Janmark.
Oh, I think that was a line at some point.
Well done, McBrown, Mark.
My game of the night is Montreal, Carolina in the National Hockey League. The Montreal Canadiens clinch a playoff berth if they get at least a point against the Hurricanes. So get it to overtime, win it, of course, great. How tense would it be if the Canadiens lost that game and then had to wait for the outcome of the Blue Jackets and the Islanders tomorrow?
Tense.
The Canadiens have had the inside track on that position for a couple of weeks now. They had it, and here's the thing. The Canadiens had a chance to beat Chicago at home on Monday, and they lost in a shootout.
Oh, we should turn that game on the ESTV.
Yeah, we should be getting that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have the remote?
I'll get it, bruh.
Get that remote out there, bruh. So my game of the night for Play More Tables and Games is the Canadiens against the Hurricanes. Yes, the Oilers play later. We're going to talk more about that with Drew Remenda. It's an 8:30 game, 7:30 right here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton Sports. Tom Gazzola hosting the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show, and then they'll be on after the game as well.
And congrats again to McBrown Mark. Koob, can you reach out to McBrown Mark? He has won the Mystery Athlete of the Game, and we'll give you the instructions on how to get that $25 GC, which maybe you can go use on, what, Wednesday at Hudson's? Potentially?
Yeah, potentially.
It's hard to say.
Game 2, Wednesday, maybe.
When do you think they're going to announce this, Reid? I mean, if Montreal does not clinch tonight, is this now prolonged until tomorrow evening?
I hope not. I think that we might get the first couple games of each series announced tomorrow, and then the entire series announced Friday or Saturday. They've done that in the past, where they've said, here's how the series are going to start, and we'll announce the rest of the series at a later date. But okay, I think if Montreal gets it done tonight, then we get the full first round schedule tomorrow. I think if Montreal doesn't win tonight and there's still a chance for Columbus, they say, okay, here's how the first couple of games of each series will go, and then once we know whether it's Columbus or Montreal, we'll do the rest. And they'll just say Washington will host on these days, and then we got to wait. That's what I think will happen.
Yeah.
I want the Canadiens to do it. Like, just get in. You got the Edmonton connection with Gooley on the team, right? It's cool.
Make it so, number one.
All right, 5:18. Let's get another late show rally with the thumbs up on YouTube. We still have our Fired Up segment and our buddy Drew Remenda when we get back.
Connor McDavid enters Game 82 of the regular season, just a point back from recording his 8th career 100-point season. Stuart Skinner gets a call against the Sharks as the Oilers roll with 12 forwards and 5 defensemen in San Jose. Tom Gazzola gets you set for the action as he goes live for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show at 7:30, only on EST. And Carolina's Skylar Brindamore makes his NHL debut against Montreal, with the Habs needing just 1 point in tonight's game to clinch a playoff berth for the first time since 2021. Elsewhere, the Ducks and Jets are on the ice, with both of those games scoreless early in the first and trailing 2-1 in the series. With the Silvertips, Portland and Everett go at it with 3 games around the WHL. And the NBA play-in tournament continues. Miami takes on Chicago, and the Mavs tip off with the Kings. In baseball, Toronto got past Atlanta 3-1. Jays and Mariners go Friday. Right now, there's 7 games live, having the Orioles up 4-1 on the Guardians in the bottom of the 3rd inning, while in the 1st, the Phillies trail 4-1 to the Giants. This sports update is brought to you by Windsor Plywood Leduc, locally owned and operated, serving Leduc and surrounding areas since '93. They have doors, flooring, baseboards, and of course, they got plywood. Go see the knowledgeable staff today at Windsor Plywood Leduc. After the break, Drew Remenda joins Reid Wilkins and Jay Milne. I'm Zachary Kubusch. You're up to date.
The Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric.
Trent Frederick will be fine. I cannot imagine the buzz on the GCL Diesel pregame show if Tommy Gazzola goes, Evander Kane and Trent Frederick are on the ice for game 1. Can you imagine? The thumbs up just...
It's Mike Yuck's Bash Brothers stuff. They better be wearing bandanas.
2 minutes? Well, worth it.
The Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric, presented by Southport Chevrolet. Weekday mornings 6 to 9, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Strike up some fun at the Banquet Bar. Bowling, drinks, and a great time with friends, where the good times roll. Whether you're here to bowl or just hang out, the Banquet Bar is your go-to spot. Get real, play hard at the Banquet.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
The River Cree Resort and Casino presents Bump and Grind Rewind, May 16th, featuring Drew Hill. With Cisco and Genuine, plus DJ Hartman B. Bump and Grind Rewind. Friday, May 16th at the River Cree Resort and Casino. Get your tickets now at rivercreeresort.com.
And there they go to Sentinel Storage. The snowblower and winter gear goes in. They shoot, we store.
Need extra space? Store your winter gear with Sentinel Storage and win extra space at home. Try 4 weeks free at sentinelstorage.ca. Proud partner of the Edmonton Oilers.
All right, we're firing up the ESTV. TV is just not the same. I mean, if you have cable, you don't actually have cable. It's all coming through the internet now, right? Basically?
Yeah.
Okay, so Carolina, Montreal.
The only thing that's
great
plugged
TV,
into this
it just takes a while to load it up.
Is the power.
Yeah, and then the internet's just like the cable's just
all
coming
around
from
it.
the sky.
Yeah.
It's just dropping. Okay, Montreal's ahead 1-0 already. All right. Live update. How about that? You know who's really good with like tech stuff is Drew Remenda.
Is he now?
Oh, the guy's unbelievable.
He almost fell over.
Yeah, he almost hit his head on his camera as he was leaning forward. Like he can't even sit still now. Hey Drew, what's going on?
Yeah, I am Mr. Text, Mr. Social Media, I am so. There's a word for a guy like me. It's good, Luddite. Luddite. I am the original Luddite. Somebody that is looking at technology and going, nope, that's not for me. So hi, boys.
Yeah, it's good to see you. So, like when you're broadcasting, and if you're in another arena and you can't connect, you're just like, call every engineer in the state or province. I can't fix it. That's what I'm like.
I don't even bother to connect. I seriously don't. I don't even connect in our own rink. I don't. I do it all at home. No.
Oh, that's amazing. It's good to see you. I believe your third appearance on the show. I know you've hopped on with Dusty in the morning. It's almost like there's a game tonight. It's almost like, as you know, here it's so late. You know what these 8:30 games are like, and I'm like, oh yeah, they're good. I was like, because when we went to commercial, I was like, why are we having Drew on again? I know we like him. Oh yeah, there's a play of the Sharks tonight.
Okay, play the Sharks.
Yeah,
play the Sharks tonight. In case you guys have forgot, And the way that you've handled us over the last while, it wouldn't be surprising that it slips your mind because it's kind of automatic. But yeah, there's one more for the Sharks, and who knows how many more for the Oilers.
I think for the Oilers, they want to get out healthy. We had Belzy on, and we said the Oilers would request straight time. Do you sense the Sharks though want to go out with a bang, or do you think this could be kind of a quiet, get it over with type of game?
First off, the media and probably the coaches would have accepted a morning game and straight time because, let's see, the Sharks have won 20 games this year. So, no, you know what? To be serious, guys, the Sharks, when Ryan Rosofsky came in and got the job as the head coach this year, a very young guy, 36 years old when he got the job, and he said one of his mandates to himself, to his coaching staff, was make sure that the guys compete harder right through the end of the year. And with the exception of, I'd say, 6 or 7, maybe even 8 games of the 82, the Sharks have competed. And there's a difference between working hard and compete. Everybody works hard. I mean, it's the National Hockey League. But the Sharks, even though they've been understaffed for a long time, they have competed. They have worked hard. They have had close games. I think we are in number, as far as the NHL keeps track of it, 36 close games, which means you lose by 1 or lose by 1 plus an empty netter. Mm-hmm. And the Sharks have been in 36 of those this year, winning 12. So they have changed. But if you look at the Sharks and the guys and how hard they've played, when you look at where we started, your 2 goalies are traded. Your top 2 defensemen in Ceci and Walmart are traded. Your number 1 center at the time, Granlund, is traded. One of your top scoring wingers in Zetterlund is traded. And your top penalty killer and faceoff guy in Sturm is traded. And Luke Cunningham, a high-energy guy, is traded. There's 8 guys. And you bring in young players. And we already had a young team. And you bring in these young players to fill in these spots, to give them their chance to be in the National Hockey League. I look back at this team and what they've done this year, and I said it the other day, I've got nothing but respect for the way that they have played this year and how hard they've played. And we have had some pretty exciting games. Randy Hahn, my partner and former Edmonton guy, he dubbed them the most exciting last place team in the history of the National Hockey League. And we were, and we have been. So I got a ton of respect for how hard the guys have played this year, Reid. It's as a coach, assistant coach, I should say, in the league for 5 years, and we lost 71 games our second year, and I'm part of the coaching staff that lost 100 games quicker than anybody in the history of the National Hockey League. I can tell you it's not easy to get these guys to keep playing when they know there's nothing in it for them.
Yeah.
So I think Ryan, his coaching staff, and the guys, I give them nothing but credit for how hard they've played.
You got to quit bringing up that stat about yourself. You
no,
always
I love
find
that
a way
stat.
to work
Are you
that
kidding?
in.
Hey, you got to. I work in. There's 2 things. You know me. There's 2 things I work into almost every conversation. 1, that stat, and 2, that I was at the gym today. That's you know that me.
That's true. That's very true. You're a very fit human being, which I appreciate.
Yeah, but I also, you didn't work out unless you told at least a handful of people about it.
Yeah, just randomly. Yeah, hey Drew, how's your day been? Ooh,
good. Just got up. Yeah,
you got to do that.
Great workout.
You got to do sort of that walk where you look like you're almost in pain, but you're still strutting.
Yeah, leg day. Drew, leg day today. It was a tough day, but I did it. I fought through.
Drew, you need to start calling them activations. It sounds way more meaningful.
Tom Gazzola.
Guys, next time we talk, we're going to go through it, the 3 of us. Buzzwords used in the National Hockey League by color commentators that need to stop.
Okay, well, no, we can do it now.
Okay.
Let's do it live. Do it live. Do you have the list?
Activation needs to stop.
Okay.
Half wall. Do you guys know hockey? You've been around hockey as long as I have.
Yeah.
Where the hell's the half wall?
Well, I think they mean
like halfway up from the corner.
Hash marks along the boards.
I know what they mean, but half wall.
The wall's not half the height there. That'd be funny if it was.
Exactly. Tripped up. Nobody gets tripped up. You fall down. There's why I have issues. I have issues, guys. So, but anyway.
Well, I have some too. If we're doing this, when they say a guy hits somebody, oh, he left his feet. No, he didn't. His feet are still attached. He left the ice. His feet left the ice. He jumped.
That's the original.
Yeah.
That's the original.
He didn't leave his feet. His feet are still attached to his legs, okay?
Yeah. Yeah. You can leap. You can elevate. Your feet can come off the ice. You can jump. You can hop. But you cannot leave your feet. You're 100% right.
Not on purpose. You don't want to leave your feet.
No,
that would be tragic.
Right.
That would be very tragic.
Wasn't Unbelievable one of them, Reid?
I ranted on that early in the season that I try not to use it unless something, okay.
Because it can't be unbelievable if it just happened right in front of you.
Tiger Woods' chip in 2005 was like if you told somebody else that hadn't seen it, and I remember I was working at Blockbuster and an employee came in the night of Tyson Holyfield and said, Tyson bit his ear, so they stopped the fight. And I was like, okay, he's making this up. He's trying to make some weird joke because I got a weird sense of humor. That's unbelievable. A goalie who's out of position, diving and making a glove save is difficult. It might be amazing. It might be unlikely. It is not unbelievable.
Agreed.
I didn't think we were going down this path. Everybody's rolling their eyes at me right now.
Sorry,
you pay a lot of attention to the Oilers. I mean, you still feel strongly about your time in Edmonton and all the great people that you got to know here.
You
mostly.
and Darnell and Connor and Leon. Okay, but other than that,
I'm in that group. That's great. Like it's this. I'm just so eager for the playoffs to start. Like it's been so weird. Guys being out, some of them legitimately injured, some injured in quotation marks.
Yeah.
And the team that plays against LA is going to be quite different than the team playing tonight. How are you looking to this end of the season, transitioning into the playoffs for the Oilers?
Well, it was funny. We were talking about it today in the media room at practice, and we were wondering if Connor was going to play. And so somebody said, well, he wants his 100 points. And I said, there's one thing Connor's interested in and only interested in, and that's the Stanley Cup. He couldn't care less if he got another 100 points. Yeah, sure, he might even have a bonus for it. But you think that matters to him? What matters to him is winning. Period. End of discussion. You knew that when you saw him when he was a kid, and so did I, that he wanted to be not only good, he wanted to be great. He wanted to be the best he could be, and he wanted to be the guy that was going to help lead his team to a championship. End of discussion. So when I look at the team, I always look at Connor, I look at Leon. Those are the two guys, without a doubt, are the drivers of the team. That's not any huge insight, I know. But with Leon out, I think because we watched him skate in Edmonton, he looked pretty damn good. And I take a 75% Leon Draisaitl over 100% a lot of other players in the league, right? So this year's been, I think, for the Oilers, an interesting year at being able to adapt to the changes that have happened to the hockey club, not only at the end of the year to the start of the year, but throughout the year with the injuries and the changes and this guy getting signed and that guy getting signed and new guys coming in. But the one thing, guys, and I know you know this as well as I do, that would worry me as an Edmonton Oilers fan is that Ekholm is hurt. And that trade by Kenny Holland was a fabulous trade that changed that team. You need those guys. You need those. You've got your drivers offensively, who we already talked about. But are you kidding me with Ekholm on the point? And that he's an amazing defenseman who controls everything. He's physical. He gets back to pucks. He moves them well. He's good on the power play. Gets up into the zone. When he pinches, he keeps. There's a difference between guys who pinch just to keep the puck in or guys who pinch to keep the offense going. He's the latter.
Right.
He's got so many great qualities that I think that for the Oilers and Oilers fans, that's got to be worrisome.
Yeah.
Sharks analyst Drew Remenda joining us here on the Reid Wilkins Show on Edmonton Sports Talk. Drew, are you switching gears after tonight? Are you doing any playoff work?
No, I am. I'm going back to the Paris of the Prairies.
I was going to say, okay, hang on. That was my next question. I want a detailed breakdown. Is this because I think the first time you were on, you took us on a journey of the pilgrimage back to the motherland. And I just want to get give me the details. Is this a car trip? I mean, where are your stops? Where are your overnights? Are we roadside stopping? Are we Walmart? Are we going to the hotel? Give us all the details, Drew.
Okay, so I leave from here. I take my lovely wife to the airport, to SFO, and she flies home because we're like the president, vice president, can't travel in the same vehicle at the same time. That's number one. Then I hit the road. I get across the Golden Gate Bridge, and I head towards the first day is Salt Lake City, Utah.
Nice.
And it's about 10, 11 hours if you're driving like me. 8, and I spend the night in Salt Lake City. It's a lovely, lovely town. Have you been there? Great.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a very nice town. and then I hit the road about 5 a.m., and that's not a lie, about 5 a.m. because I'm not a good sleeper. And then I'm thinking to myself, Medicine Hat. And then by the time I get to Medicine Hat, I always think, what the hell am I going to stay in Medicine Hat for? And I just keep going, and I do the second day in 17 hours.
Wow.
And the problem is usually it's 17 hours, but usually it's about 17 hours and 15 minutes because twice in the last 2 years that I've done this, I get pulled over by the Royal Canadian Mounted Police and get a speeding ticket.
Well, they just want to say hi.
So there's no, and I know you joked about the speed limits in Canada the last time. Joke, not joked. Will they not enforce anything in the States, like especially in the Montanas and Wyomings? Is it just
you're going on the interstate? Okay. 15. I'm on 5 and 15, and there was literally 3 times last year when I drove home that I passed highway patrol in different states. They just like, see you later. As long as you're not driving like a maniac.
They're obviously drunk or shooting people or something.
No, I wasn't doing that.
Yeah, right.
I'm not. So they don't. They're not over officious NHL referees who are trying to get control of a game late in the game. You know what I mean?
Oh, speaking our language, True.
I love how you work that in.
But every time, but once you get across the border, you still got the heavy foot. The guy pulled me over in Alberta. Like, guys, I get across the border, and I'm literally, I can see the border still. I see one guy sitting in the ditch, and I was like, saw you a mile away. Saw another guy on the right side of the ditch. I said, yeah, thanks, buddy. Saw a third guy a little bit up the road, and I thought to myself, okay, that's got to be it. Hit the gas. I see a guy coming the other way, and I'm like, mother.
Oh.
I pull over. He comes around. And, of course, he wants to talk to me. I said, where are you coming from? And I said, San Jose, California. And he goes, interstate? I said, yeah. He goes, yeah, we get a lot of you guys.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, talk about rubbing salt in the wound, right?
Exactly. But anyway, I try to get home in a couple days because I don't know why. Because I'm just...
Well, you might as well. Just do it. You know what I've been complaining about, speaking of refereeing, which I know you weren't, but you worked in the little shot there. This tap on the gloves through the neutral zone is not slashing. Good for Corey Perry for getting mad the other night. That is not slashing. Okay, if you full on slash and hit a guy's wrist, fine. If you get your stick underneath a wrist or a hand and wrench the hand off the stick, fine. That's hooking. This tap on the gloves is not slashing. Okay, offensive players don't expect to skate to the net without being touched. I hate that call.
But first of all, one thing on that, Corey Perry getting mad about slashing is hilarious because that guy's gotten away with more crap than anybody in the history of the National Hockey League. So let's leave the Saint Perry out of this. But anyway, the other thing is the hook. When the stick just comes up and there's no hook, but your stick comes up near the hands, they call that too. I know what they're trying to do. I get it, but at the same time, there has to be, as you said, some sort of impediment when a hook or some sort when the slash goes. It's got to be a slash where you don't want them breaking the wrist. You don't want the slash like Pietrangelo last year or was it 2 years ago. But you want it to be like you said, up on the hands is not a slash. I agree with you there.
All right, you've been far too generous with your time. You did work in a Pietrangelo reference, which means I get to say miserable bastard. Not in relation to you, in relation to the Golden Knights. Okay, enjoy the game tonight whenever it starts in like 6 hours or something.
We like the late games here. We like the late games here.
Have a great trip back. I will bug you to come on from Saskatoon to talk Riders training camp and maybe some Stanley Cup playoffs.
I don't do that anymore. You know that. I don't have to talk about that anymore.
No, but you're so generous with your time, and we'd love to have you on again during the playoffs.
Anytime. I'll give you my breakdown of every series. And by the way, we don't want Montreal to win. We want Columbus to win because of the great Dean Evison, former San Jose Shark, and what they've gone through this year.
Yeah, he's a great coach too. I know Brownie loved him too. So yeah,
I coached him. Of course, he's a great coach.
Okay, we'll tell stories about Dean Evison next time. All right, thank you, Drew. See ya.
See you, boys.
That's Drew Remenda, Sharks analyst, of course, former Oilers broadcaster, and just a fun guy. He likes us, so we have him on.
Oh, I could sit. You know what? I bet you I could hop in that car with him, cross the it's not the Golden Gate, it's the other bridge. The Oakland Bridge.
That's what they should call it.
Well, there's the Golden Gate that goes north towards Napa, and then the other one, the Oakland Bridge.
Oh, okay.
It goes east.
Oh, yeah, because you went to that Raiders game, right?
Yeah. I would sit in that car and drive the whole time.
No, he's awesome.
It would just be awesome.
Yeah.
I wonder what he clips out at, what that max speed would be.
Well, apparently whatever he wants.
Boy, that's beautiful. I'd love to do that. Go down to Calgary going 155. 55.
Wait, I gotta get it. There it is. Okay. Tell you what, let's get a lot of clicks going on the thumbs up on YouTube. We're a couple away from 130, but let's see how close we can get to 155.
I've got 2 ready to go.
We want to do 2 words of the day. We got fired up coming up as well. Canadians and Hurricanes 1-1, 7:25 left in the first. Here comes the Koob.
The Edmonton Oilers have loaned defenseman Connor Carrick back to the Condors after they recalled him yesterday on an emergency basis. Tonight, Stuart Skinner starts for the Oilers as they ice 12 forwards and 5 defensemen in San Jose. Connor McDavid sitting just 1 point away from recording 100 points on the season. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. Tom Gazzola gets you set for the game at 7:30 right here on EST. In 3 games are live right now. Carolina's Skylar Brindamore is playing in his NHL debut against the Habs as Montreal looks to secure a playoff spot with a single point in that one. And midway through the first, it's 1-1. Elsewhere, it's the Red Wings and Devils underway while Anaheim is battling Winnipeg. No score near the end of the first. On the court, there's 2 play-in matchups. The Bulls and Heat tip off while Dallas hits the road in Sacramento. Baseball saw the Blue Jays win 3-1 against the Braves, and right now there's 7 games live. The D-backs are up 1-0 on the Marlins in the bottom of the 4th, while the Orioles hold the Guardians 4-1 in the 5th inning. The final segment of the Reid Wilkins Show brings us back once we get back from the break. I'm Zachary Kubusch, and you're up to date.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Looking for a winning strategy for your retirement? Contact me, Joaquin Gage at K4 Financial, where expertise meets dedication. I will always look for a careful approach to your retirement, ensuring your financial future is secure. From tailored strategies to clear, actionable advice, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Get in touch with me, Joaquin Gage, today at k4financial.ca or email joaquin.gage@k4financial.ca to start planning for a brighter future and a more secure retirement.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as a ninja fighting off evil samurai.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
Your brand deserves more than just a whisper, it deserves a buzz. At the Hive Product Marketing, they specialize in promotional products that bring the buzz. From eye-catching giveaways to unforgettable keepsakes, they got the perfect products to make your brand stand out and get noticed. Visit the Hive Product Marketing and let them create the buzz your business deserves. The Hive Product Marketing, the official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk. Visit them online at thehiveproductmarketing.com.
Must you click? Click. Must you click? Click, click. Click, click,
All right. There's the Click Thumb Remax. We need a few more here. Thumbs up on YouTube. Thanks a lot for listening to the show. Subscribe to Edmonton Sports Talk on YouTube if you haven't already. And give us the favorite or the... What is it you do on iHeartRadio? Or is it just once you listen to something, it comes up as a suggestion?
Yeah, you just press play.
But you could... Well, there, mine started playing. But you still have to... Yeah, well, you can still... Sorry.
It's literally playing.
Anyway... But somebody could have a long list of stuff they've listened to, right? Recently played. There's a playlist. People are like, why didn't Reid learn this ahead of time? Just listen to the station, Jablonski. I'm just trying to figure out how. Just put it on your app, Jablonski. We are getting fired up for Gemco. Gemco Fireplaces, proudly serving Edmonton and area for 45 years, the authorized dealer for Napoleon fireplaces. Whether it's gas or wood burning, look no further than Canadian-made Napoleon fireplaces. All the Napoleon products you need are available at Gemco 9281 50th Street. Mr. Milne.
Yes.
Have you done anything in the last 24 hours that has left you a little fired up, a little excited, turned you into an eager beaver?
We had our first flag football practice last night. And I gotta say, we got a squad. We got a unit. We this team came together quite fast. Like I said, it helps having children that probably go to the same school anyhow.
Mm-hmm.
So they knew each other. We got through some drills. We had fun. We played games. We competed. It was awesome. I'm very excited. I was nervous. Going to a U11 flag football practice, Reid. I didn't know if the kids would accept me. But they did.
I just want to be accepted.
No, it was an awesome practice. My wife is the assistant coach. She was out there. It was cold. It was windy.
Yeah, it's gross.
Yeah,
it's like
gross.
November 5th.
Yeah, not like tonight. Looks nice out. Did you see it's supposed to be 15 on Good Friday? Like it's supposed to be quite nice.
Yeah, the weather's improving throughout the week, right? Let me open my Weather Canada app or whatever it's called. Is it Weather Canada or Environment Canada?
Environment
Canada. It's still windy out, it says. So that's not good. Not only 9 tomorrow. So yeah, 17 Friday, 14 and 12, but cloudy in the weekend. Might snow or rain on Monday. So it's okay. At least Friday will be the nicest.
You know what the German word for windy is?
Windschneisen?
Windig. Windig.
Okay, when's the next practice?
Next Tuesday, bruh.
When's your first game?
May 2nd, bruh.
In the evening, or is that a weekend?
It's a Saturday. It's Saturdays.
Is it a jamboree?
No, it's a game, but I think it's sometime between 10 and 1 out in Sherwood Park. It'd be
cool.
great.
How many games do you play?
They haven't released the schedules. I'd imagine
Monday
it's
nighters?
like 8.
Do you have any Monday nighters?
No, we don't get the primetime game till the playoffs. I would imagine there's 8 or 9 games, but there'll be some rainouts. Probably.
Maybe
right?
a snow out.
Maybe. Who knows? It's not May long yet. But I am fired up about something else.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Reid and I, during the breaks of this show, well, most days.
Well, we can't admit to that. We can't admit to this.
I am.
We can't admit. Okay, this is a made-up story.
We sometimes play a game, of 21, but we go up to 7. Say in a break. It keeps you loose. You're talking about, hey, what's coming up next?
We're planning, everybody.
We're
it's part of
keeping
work.
everything limber and the minds, open and free. So we decided today just to do a running total of the whole show, all 3 hours, every break.
Yes.
And I just want to say thank you for your efforts. But today
I'm a loser as usual.
I was victorious over Riedrich. Final score we just finished in the last break was 90-7-8.
No, did I get within 12?
You did. There was a stage in the 50s. I think I hit 4 shots in a row.
I think 18 was your largest.
And I really
lead.
opened it up.
Yeah.
But
I think 18 was your largest.
I don't
lead.
mind this, but
I'm terrible at 21.
You're
I don't
not.
know why I like things I'm bad at.
Well,
21,
you shoot underhanded.
golf.
You shoot granny style
from the
free
line. Throw line. I shoot overhand.
Maybe you need
else.
to reassess that.
I'm not good at anything. It's just frustrating.
Yeah. You okay? Well, I think we need to.
So like, I like doing word of the day. I suck at it. I like golfing. I suck at it. I like shooting on the basket. I suck at it.
I wonder if the backboard of that basket could somehow resemble a whiteboard, and we could just keep score with a dry eraser on the backboard. That'd be cool.
TBD, bro.
So yeah, it was a heck of a game. Big finish.
It was fun. All right, Oilers coming up at 8:30. We are going to wrap up the show with
fantastic.
Our word of the day.
The word of the day with Reid and Jay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
What do they got to say?
Say what again? Say what again? I dare you.
Let's find out.
English, do you speak it? Then you know what I'm saying.
This was listener supplied.
Really?
I had an amazing email I received last night. I didn't read it till this morning.
Okay.
It's laid out a pile of words that I believe this person has personal experience with and or is wondering more about.
Oh, wow. Okay. Do I know this person?
You do. And there were also some words that that were specifically for playoff time.
So you've had, and didn't,
yes,
the Australian gentleman, didn't he are you using any of those words still?
I have in the past.
Oh, wow. So you're, this is fascinating.
So thank you. You know who you are.
And I'm not allowed to know. Okay.
Well, I don't know if he wants me to announce it on the show. I can certainly
tell me
you.
off air. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
The word of the day: extol. Extol.
I believe it's EXTOL. And extol means to. I think it's almost like to gush. It's like to describe with almost excessive detail. Like,
use it in a sentence.
Oilers fans are always happy to extol the prolific play of Connor McDavid.
I'll give you that. The actual the definition is to praise highly.
Oh, okay. So it's it is always praise.
Yeah.
Right. I should have got that.
I'd
probably get 3/4.
Are we doing a second one?
Well, I think because it's like a bonus in basketball because I got over 1.5. I get another word. What's that?
Sorry.
You're
pressed the wrong button.
Let's go.
Isocracy.
Holy crap. Isocracy?
Yes, this is a noun.
Well, I'll just do the obvious spelling. By the way, Canadians, Carolina 1-1 after the first period. Montreal needs a point to clinch a playoff spot. Isocracy. ISOCRACY. Okay, so I have to think about what this means. Crassy usually has to do... Well, there's democracy. I think that has to do with a form of government. So, like to isolate means to single out one. Isotoner is a type of glove promoted by Dan Marino. I don't know if that's anything to do with the definition. I will say it is a form of government in which one person makes all the decisions. Tuba time. All right.
It is a form of government.
But you appreciate how I tried to get there.
You were right with the...
Okay, it's a form of government where all the leaders wear gloves. Or former quarterbacks.
A government in which all individuals have equal political power.
Equal political power.
Yes.
Okay, so it's
isocracy.
So ISO is then more with equality, not because I was thinking isolate. Though I guess you could isolate a group of people.
Mm-hmm.
Not isolating just one person. And then I was trying to think what else. What else uses ISO?
And it opened up.
I don't know what else uses ISO as the prefix. Okay, but I'm kind of pleased that I got a little bit on that one.
That was good. Drew threw out a good word. What was that?
Oh yeah. What was it, Koob? He did use a good word. I don't know. Koob was it? Koob doesn't really take in the show. The show doesn't interest Koob. It doesn't interest Koob that much.
Fantastic.
All right, we got to go. 7:30, the stream resumes. Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton Sports. Tom Gazzola hosting the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. He'll be on after the game as well. The Oilers close out the regular season against the Sharks. It's an 8:30 start. Nielsen show at 6. I heard the playoff song is going to debut. I'll be on the show at 7:45. Jay and I are back for another edition of the Reid Wilkins Show at 3. On behalf of the Koob and the Glue Guy, I'm Reid. Take care.